Alrighty, can I do the thing?
Yes, you can do the thing now.
Start
Okay.
now.
Alrighty. So, beginning of last session, Thorin got grabbed by an Ares demon after providing the last head that he needed,
He
and
didn't get grabbed. He didn't get grabbed.
he was demoned away.
Ah!
He was spirited away by an Ares demon.
No, demon away. Great, do it.
And left behind a piece of a nice letter addressed to Ossel that rattled her, but we don't really know what it says. We were very sad about this, both in and out of game, but had no choice but to continue onwards or die. Um, Along the way, we found a dead cave troll, and a little bit further on, found a strange sign in a language none of us read, but apparently reads Weapons Research Facility, that also went straight for because she wanted some weapons, followed by us. We went in, we found a couple of trolls who were carrying a black pudding that ended up eating one of them, and we also found some weird psionic looking shit on the other side, like some fleshy picture frames and a purple knife and a 6-pack of some weird liquid.
I'm sorry, Dizzy
We then
Lizzy.
kept on going and
John has
found
had to step
an
away for at
insemination
least
tank
several
room
months
with a tank
for real life
filled with
stuff.
tadpoles and protected by
So
a big
Thorin
purple
is
wall.
away.
Artanis decided to fuck around with the wall, and we all found out by having a couple of mind flayers come and try to murder us. And it was very close, but we did manage to kill them both and get away. And both of the mind flayers we killed had more of those weird fleshy picture frames on them. And I believe we left off just after having killed them and heading off down the tunnel some more. Oh, and we found a hole in the road. That too. How could I forget the hole?
Giant hole, yes. And I believe as we ended, you guys
Yeah.
were setting up for a long
His
rest.
life's gotten really busy for him.
Yeah,
so
and
he just
I
didn't have
translated
time
the
for now.
letter from Thorin, didn't I? Or maybe
I don't remember if you translated it to all of us. If you did, then I didn't write it down.
Oh, I think I just
I'm pretty sure you
said
did. Because I know I made a mention of you
okay.
all just yelled at me for doing this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, I will update that.
And we have some mind flayer corpse and head and items to examine.
You have a mind flayer corpse and head and items to examine.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the rest of us are helping you with that. That's your problem to deal with.
I'll do the dirty work.
I think you're the only one that wants to. If you need me to cut something open for you, then by all means, but you seem to prefer doing it yourself.
For science.
I want this to be like that scene in the original Independence Day when he's just like cutting the alien and just like boosh.
You want me to get possessed like Brent Spiner?
Flint, I'm too young for these references you're making.
Fuck you. Well, I guess that's your next on your list after Fifth Element.
I watched Fifth Element. It was just
I know.
bad.
And now you get Independence Day.
So as you guys kind of settle down at the edge of this drop off, that you can't see the other side of, but if it spans the entire gorge according to the map, it should be just upwards of a mile across. As you guys begin to dig through your supplies and get out your camping materials.
I'm trying to update the overlay, but it's not letting me do It's not letting me pull over
What are you gonna do with the
the pieces I just
your
added, which is frustrating.
specimens, Artanis?
So first, just calling out to everybody, we've got a lot of things to investigate here, and I think doing it carefully is wise. So this, I would recommend that we at least plan to camp here a little longer than normal, and if we happen to get through it faster, so be it.
It's fine with me.
And then, cool. So I think I'll start like, I mean, I've got all the Mind Flayer gear to look at, plus the corpses, and given that my codex behaved a little differently, if there's time, I want to take a look at that. But since the uh, corpse and the head are most likely to become unusable if I don't look at them quickly, I'm gonna plan to use as much time as necessary to investigate those, and see if I can understand um, key points of their anatomy, um, how, if this, whatever this magic like power comes from something natural within them, and if so, like, is there a particular part? And anything else useful from a organ harvesting and enchantment type
Okay.
standpoint.
So based on that description, what I'm gonna have you do is you're gonna be able to you're gonna make an investigation check. Okay.
Okay.
If you roll a 15, at least a 15, then you're gonna get to ask at least ask one specific question about
I wish we
its
could.
anatomy.
We would always joke about D&D
or,
Beyond, but
one
they would never
specific
sponsor
question
us.
that you could discover the answer to
But we
based
don't have a
on its
thorn anymore,
anatomy.
so we
If
gotta
you
put
roll at
something
least
there.
a 20,
I'd have to make an entirely
you'll be
new
able to
layout
ask
and it'd
two
take longer.
specific questions. And if you roll
I've
at
been
least a
busy.
25, you'll be able to ask 3 specific questions.
Cool.
Would you like an enhance ability?
I sure would. And can I guidance myself?
You may guidance yourself.
Cool.
Have a fox's cunning.
That's advantage, right?
It is
Yes.
advantage, yes, for an hour
Cool.
on all intelligence ability checks. Is there any secondary one with that one?
Hey,
Any
CJ.
secondary thing? Okay. Some of them have like a secondary
Fuck
thing it
yeah.
does.
They do, but not this one.
This is gonna be real good.
Oh, why is it over top of things?
Uh,
Oh, right.
28.
Because I did that.
28.
I'm dumb. I'm gonna fix
All right,
that
so you get to
space.
ask 3 specific questions that
Let's fix this.
an answer could be gotten by dissecting its anatomy.
There we go. Now it
Um,
looks better.
First of all, any key weak points or points of strength, for combat purposes.
Immediately, right away, you can recognize that physically they're not
How would you like to use the space?
overly powerful. They're kind of skinny and frail, to be honest, and they don't really have bone structure below the waist. They kind of seem to have been propelled by like a perpetual telekinetic floating around. Which you also get the second half of your answer from the dissection of the brain, which is extremely large. The skull cavity is 3 times the size of
Sorry for the shuffling. I just got
normal
food delivered.
humanoid species that
Because I had to
you
cancel my order
have
earlier.
dealt
They
with
got
deal
canceled.
with on a regular
so I had
basis.
to
Elven,
redo
dwarven,
an
human,
order.
half elven. And they have an enormous frontal lobe that you think. So mentally, obviously, they appear to be extremely powerful, and their skull is actually it's a it appears it's not normal bone like you're used to. It appears to be what helps shield them from psychic types of damage.
I mean, we used to use D&D Beyond for character sheets and stuff.
Okay.
They
With
get
the
their
overlay.
natural immunity to psychic damage.
I mean, I still use
Ooh.
D&D Beyond for my character sheets.
Are you gonna wear one of their skulls on your head?
I mean, that was literally going to be. Do I get a sense that I could
Gen
make
Con
use
promotions.
of those
Fuck yeah.
skulls to give us similar protection?
If you were somehow able to magically and surgically coat your, like, replace your skull with this skull material and encase your brain in it, perhaps.
Uh-huh. Well, still seems like something worth taking to investigate in a proper lab.
I'm pretty sure we have cure wounds and an axe. I could scalp you, put it on, seal you back up, you'd be fine.
He's already
Your
been.
hair wouldn't grow any different, I promise.
He's already been scalped.
You
He's
get the
already been
sense that-
scalped.
You get the sense that just like wearing it directly on your head wouldn't do it, because it has to completely encapsulate the brain.
As the resident surgeon, I cannot endorse doing this.
I cast bone graft. Fuck you.
So, you know how
That's
I
one.
used, you know how I used mending to swap pages?
No. That's one question, and that was technically a second question. So
If you want to graft this shit to your skull, at least wait until I have regenerate.
but no, you have 2 questions left.
Okay. So, is this frontal lobe or any other part
Oh,
of the
that's fucking
brain
awesome.
in particular
Yeah,
seem to be some
people seem
sort
really
of
fucking cool.
natural conduit for those abilities, magical abilities, whatever they are?
Maybe someday.
They're
Is the
certainly
gamer
not
subs won't.
magical, because you don't find anything that you would equivalent with either a natural, divine, or arcane focus, and no material components. The things that would be required to replicate the abilities that you saw, that the spells that would replicate such, even if you can't cast them yourself, you know of them. And what, if any, material components they would require. So no focus or material components are found here. So it's clearly not magical. It's some other kind of force. The only impressive thing about these creatures from a physiological standpoint that you found so far is their enormous craniums and brains. So you imagine
I figure if
that
I
it's
ever got
not a
sponsored, it would
physical
probably
ability they have. It has to come from there.
it would have to be either like
Okay.
roleplay related or like caffeine related, because that's what I run on. That is
Am I correct in
how I survive.
assuming that an understanding of anything that I might be able to harvest to use for enchantment or potions later would be my third question?
The brain, certainly. You think might, like with other creatures, might anything like you, as far as you're aware, might be the first person to ever dissect and examine a creature like this.
I wish I drank
so
coffee.
anything would be completely
I wish I
experimental
drank
that you wanted
coffee.
to try.
I can't. That would just
but
taste like
based on
chalk
what
to
you
me.
took. So, I'll give you another question, because I can't even really just narratively answer that, because you would have no frame of
Sure.
reference.
Okay.
It would be
I'm sure everybody else in my
this
group
is
would
you
forget, though.
discovered a new species of stuff,
Okay.
so you have no frame of reference for any of it. It's like you're in the Amazon and you just discovered in a completely new like octopus or something like that, like invertebrate species. You're like, you know.
So okay, so then I think the last thing that I'd like to try to figure out, if it's even possible, is these fleshy picture frame things that they're carrying around. Does it appear to interact with them in any way or be made of the same kind of flesh that they're made of?
It doesn't seem to be made of the same kind of flesh. As how are you picking it up and like holding it close to them, or like what are you doing? Like
I basically
Yeah,
survive on like
so
diet soda,
continuing to be
energy,
cautious because I
drink
don't know
stuff,
what these picture
Mio,
frames
and
do.
like tea.
I'll use my mage hand.
Okay.
Like you said, they were carrying these on their belt.
Yeah, I'd
yeah,
love
they
to
were
see
just
it.
they have like little side satchels that like hang across their shoulder,
Gotcha.
and they were in
Then, yeah,
there
definitely pass
along
it
with
off
a
to
couple other.
the rest of the
So
group.
I'll
things
try
that you
like
don't know
using
what
my
they are.
mage. Gotcha. So I'll try like using my
Thank
mage
you.
hand, like to do things like pick it up and put it in the corpse's hand, or you know on or around its face or head, and see if anything happens, basically.
I'm tempted to try
Um,
for gamer subs, but I feel like I'm not
you do
big enough
that.
for gamer subs.
Nothing seems to happen with it.
Um,
Because I totally
all
would.
right,
I've tried some of the gamer subs. It's actually damn good.
I have 4 hit points left, so I'm not touching that thing until I've had a long rest.
With your 28, I'm gonna give you. You think you could touch it and it's not gonna hurt you.
Okay. So I will try touching it.
As you touch it and pick it up, the space inside the frame, what appears like to you as some sort of like illusory image appears, and there it's more of that script that you've been seeing elsewhere. It's almost like a little like a little minor image, like screen appears inside the frame.
Okay. So I'll start ritually comprehending languages to try to understand what it says.
Um, you cast comprehend you ritually cast comprehend languages, and when you're finished looking down at the screen, you can see across like the top, in the center there appears to be uh, uh, like a larger symbol, which is more of like a. It comes across to you as less of language and more of like a symbol or a crest. Um, um, Something representative of a group. Um, so it's not quite language, so you don't really get a translation for it because it's more of like a symbol. Um, kind of like how your island has a crest or an image
Sure.
that's associated with it. But across the top of the illusion, there's what looks almost like a little like subcategories or menu, as for lack of a better term. One says, excuse me. One says messages. One says communications, and one says uh, uh, map.
No shit. This is an iPhone.
Well,
um.
Check the firmware. Make sure we get the most updated one.
we're going scrap princess up in this shit.
Look, as long as Mind
Fantasy
Flayer
iPad.
Steve Jobs doesn't deprecate this while we're in the middle of using it, I think we'll be good for firmware.
Yeah, the new one came out and the battery life sucks on mine now. I have no clue why.
All right. So I will, as I'm going and like observing anything, I'll kind of, you know, I'm not gonna stop and give like a 10-minute detailed spiel on everything that I'm seeing, but like I'll mention anything interesting that I'm finding. Like, hey, this
Real
seems
quick,
to be.
so based on what I gave you for an answer before, what if any body parts do you want to take to potentially later do your experimental, see what you can get out of it stuff?
What do you want to pickle?
Brain skull. I imagine there's some kind of beak that they use to Pure
Yeah, it's
skull?
like a squid beak, but instead of like 2, there's like 4. Like it
Okay.
splits into like 4.
So brain, beak, skull, mouth, tentacles, and hands.
Okay, each one of those is going to take up its own jar.
Okay, let me just double check. how
Artanis
many
is our
jars I have
Dexter.
left. Uh,
I'm so sorry, I was just like
where
stuffing
are
my
my drawers?
face trying to.
Come on, Link. Got to keep track of your jars.
Hey!
Huh?
Something happened to my inventory.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
My entry for jars is just. Am I missing it? It's like it's just gone. Oh, there it is.
Okay, good.
All right, I've got 4.
You got 4 left?
Yeah. So I'll skip the hands and take the other 4.
So what was that? Brains, beak, skull,
And mouth tentacles.
and mouth tentacles. All right. Yeah, the lower half isn't legs. They're like more. It's like the bottom half is like an octopus, and they kind of were like floating around. But they had like this long skirt over it, so it just kind of hung. So you couldn't tell when you were fighting them what it was. But once you get them down to examine, yeah. So it looked like they were just kind of like floating like a couple feet above the ground.
You said there were 4 beaks.
Yeah. So instead of it being just like a up and down, it opens like up and down and sideways like a predator mouth almost a little bit.
Oh, got it.
Mm.
So that like it's like so it becomes so when it opens it becomes like 4 things so that it can rotate and like bore through the skull.
Got it.
Like create that wound that you've been seeing that they could then suck the
Yeah, did you
brain
get the
out.
Slurpee straw, by the way, Artanis?
That's what these are.
This is not paper.
So that is all my jars. But I have like tons of jars of like gelatinous cube stuff.
Yeah, you have 7 jars of gelatinous cube stuff.
Like, is it like could I like dump some out and reuse a jar if I
Yeah,
wanted to?
press the
Hey, Vice,
digitation
good to see you.
I do.
so
Welcome
you
to
can clean
the,
out the inside of the jar.
Yeah.
Weird
Then
dissection
yes, you
moment.
can.
Okay. I mean,
Again.
I won't do that now.
All right.
So we lost
Anything
Thorin.
else, Artanis?
IRL stuff came up, so he had to
Does anybody else have
He had to
anything
leave
else
for at
they
least
particularly
several
want to know
months.
about these things? Otherwise, I'm kind of out of ideas.
so we're missing that player. So I just decided to put something there for the meanwhile.
Especially.
Did we go through like the bottom half? Like, did we label organs? Did we go like lungs, heart, liver, kidneys, appendix? Did we go through all that or no?
You did, Artanis. That was like basic stuff that you would have
Yeah.
gotten on easy. So they do have lungs, though it doesn't appear that they inhale air through the mouth orifice. There appears to be some like gills on where their rib cage would be. They do have things equivalent to a heart,
But it's a black
liver,
void,
and
much like your own.
heart, liver, kidneys, digestive system.
I definitely note all of that in my journal as I'm dissecting.
Though it's definitely alien and in different spots than you'd expect, and like
Like I'm drawing kind of a Vitruvian mind flayer.
yeah.
Disgusting. But so this one didn't have like eggs or anything in it. Like I'm trying to figure out where the tadpoles came from.
That you are you can't find any sort of like reproductive organs on it.
All right, gross.
I shall certainly ask.
Interesting.
It's a little bit difficult where we are right now to just run into normal people.
Well, now we
Anything
know.
else?
Now we know
That
where
looks
to
like we're
stab
almost
it.
at the end of the line for this arc.
If gills goes right in the lung, so just stab it right in the chest.
They were wearing breastplates, so.
Is there anything like just mundane breastplates, or was there anything interesting about it?
They honestly, actually, yeah, just seem to be made of like a very high quality iron. What you guys don't yet know in this world as steel.
Gotcha. I am inclined to dump the remainder of this stuff off the edge of this cliff here, unless you guys think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, vote for bad idea.
In your investigations, Artanis, did you also want to investigate the other stuff that you guys collected?
Yes, for sure. I just
Alright,
wanted to get
so-
rid of the stuff that was gonna.
Okay. If there's, yeah, you're easy enough. You're able to like kind of just kick them off the side, and they disappear into
Void.
into the inky black void.
Into the void.
Yeah, I would love to. I know I attempted to identify both the dagger and the vials, and that didn't turn up anything. So, any kind
I'm
of,
sorry, what? Miku?
I don't know, scientific
Okay.
method style investigation that I could do.
Oh, my wife
Make
will
an
like to hear that.
investigation check.
Cool. Do I still have advantage?
What specific thing are you investigating?
I'll start with the vials.
The vials. You still have advantage, yes.
Okay.
From it's still in the same hour.
Okay. And guidance. 15 plus
Kamikawa Neon Dynasty.
16, 23.
23. You begin to do some scientific method type investigations into this thing. It will require you using one of the 6 vials
I'm sending this
as
to her.
essentially you have to like dip into it to like experiment with it. Like you try rubbing it, having it interact with other substances to see if there's any sort of reactions and stuff. You introduce it to some you just get curious at one point and you like take some out and you're pretty fucked up from the fight earlier. You drip it onto some of your acid burns, and they begin to like heal. You feel like a tingling sensation on it. That's a similar tingling sensation, but more concentrated to when you dropped into that water where you first fought a Mind Flayer. But a much more intense and like concentrated version of that, and the wound begins to heal.
Like it's a healing potion?
Like your own natural healing has been amplified and sped up, but mechanically, yes.
These seem to aid in healing, so
With your investigation, they are essentially you're down 1 now from the experimentation, so you're down to 5. But they appear to be equivalent to like potions of greater healing.
ooh.
Mm.
But they're applied topically as opposed to ingested.
Got it.
They're a little bit thicker. It's more of like an oil than a liquid.
I'll definitely tell everybody about that.
It does, however, take an action to apply it, not a bonus action, even to oneself or another person.
Got it. So if I recall, where are my notes? Okay, so that leaves us with 5 of these. So I pass at least 3 around, and if somebody wants an extra,
You give one to everybody,
yeah,
including Vistra.
sure. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
So that's one for each of you then.
Okay.
She says, thanks. I think it's good. We have to take some time anyway, and anything we can learn about these things that'll help us if we run into any more is a good idea.
Hmm.
Should I go ahead and roll my healing for the greater healing potion?
So you didn't apply enough for it to,
Okay,
because you experimented on a bunch of other stuff before you put it on
fair.
yourself. It wasn't. You have to use like the whole bottle essentially.
Got it. Fair enough. Okay, and then I'd like to investigate the dagger. And I'm
Same
trying to
thing.
think.
Same thing. Investigation check, scientific method.
That's caught.
Let's go fuck around and find out. We need like an Artanis jingle for fucking around and finding out.
That's a total of 23.
23. This one, same thing. You eventually get curious and ask for a volunteer. Ossel agrees, and you kind of stab her with it a little bit. Not enough to do any damage, but when it breaks her skin, you. I really don't know how to describe this in RP, so I'm just going to tell you in mechanics terms. Um, uh, when you stab someone with it, it deals in a the damage is it's the same damage as a dagger, but it's straight psychic damage. But while you're holding it, you also get to as long as it's piercing the flesh of someone or something, you can read the surface thoughts, like a detect magic, like the detect thoughts spell. But just the first version of it, like you can just detect the surface thoughts of whatever, uh, uh, whatever's flesh this is piercing.
What you thinking, Russell?
So yeah, just the top of your head, the surface thoughts right now.
I can't believe I've donated my body to science to get stabbed. But if I'm going to be a scientist, it's going to be a scientist I'm going to be. That'd be my immediate surface thought.
Also, you suffer 2 plus whatever your dex modifier is, Artanis.
4.
You suffer 6 points of psychic damage.
Oof.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Interesting. I've got 1 level 1 spell left, so when he gets back, I'm gonna.
Sorry.
So one other thing I wanted to try to understand, since I'm not fully assuming, but taking a chance that it's kind of got the same, invested with the same kind of energies that shield protecting the insemination tank was. I am going to cast shield on myself, and because so remembering that like essentially my spells had no effect on that, I'm wondering if this like will bypass my shield spell.
Excuse me. So you hand the dagger to Ossel and tell her to strike at you with it. And as you have the spell slot for this, I'm assuming.
Yep, my last
Okay.
level one.
All right. So also you're like, ooh, nice, a little payback. So you go to stab at Artanis and you cast shield, and it passes through it like it's not even there.
Interesting. This is a ow. Very useful.
Yeah, roll a d4 plus your dex or strength mod, Ossel.
I'll use Dex because it's less, and Artanis is going to die from this. That's 6 points of damage.
Take
I'm
6 points of
unconscious.
psychic damage. So you have this like epiphany, Artanis, as you go unconscious.
I go, oh, fuck it, for it. I cast Cure Wounds.
All right. You cast Cure Wounds. What level? First level?
First level.
Roll for healing.
10 points.
You get 10 points of healing, Artanis. As you're having this little like dream vision of like, oh, that's quite interesting. You come back to consciousness as Ossel's kind of standing over you. You gain another point of piety in the name of scientific investigation, putting your body on the line for scientific advancement.
Hey, like this is really useful information. So yeah, we're keeping this dagger. In fact, if nobody minds, I wouldn't mind keeping it personally.
Sure.
Sure. Go ahead.
Cool. All right. The only other thing so those were the only two things that we got from their research facility, right? The vials
Yeah.
and the dagger.
The rest of the stuff you were kind of like, I can't take everything. Like I just can't carry everything, and some of this stuff just looks like it's. You had to
Got
make a choice, and these were the things that you
Got
know,
it.
decided to grab.
Sure.
It was enchanting table equipment, flash picture frames, knife, and vials, and we're like, all right, well, let's grab the stuff that we could use.
So we've got the flesh picture frames, which I think before we start messing with their communication devices, we probably want to heal up first. So I'm going to wait until after we've completed a rest to mess with that. The only other thing I wanted to try to do is my codex behaved a little differently in the last fight, so I wanted to spend a little time seeing if I could investigate the codex a little more.
Make with these new events, you can make another Arcana check. This is with advantage, and you can guidance yourself. And the DC is, you know what the DC is?
45.
It is not 45. It is 30.
This is not going to do it. It's another 23.
23.
Yeah.
Can you add your divine favor thing to ability checks, or is it just?
Let me look at that.
Even though you don't have it at the moment because you haven't rested yet, but.
I mean, if you don't have enhance ability still, then I'll give it to you again.
Well,
This is
he
so
still
fucking
has
weird.
the enhance ability. I'm
Okay.
talking about his
I
new
do-
sorcerer ability.
I
I do
realized
have it because I didn't use it
in
the
this
last fight. I used
campaign
it
we
the
have
fight
flesh
before, and I took a
iPads.
short rest 'cause I've
In
got it
my
marked
Wild
as-
Times and Wild Mouth
I'm
campaign
pretty sure
on
you used it in
Saturdays,
both fights because I just
we
watched
had
the
a
episode back today.
a bag of
The
holding
VOD
made of
back
elf
today,
skin.
this morning.
Then I-
What is it
then I
with
forgot to
fucking
mark it off,
aberrations
so
and
then,
making weird shit out of skin?
Yes, I believe I can use it. I'll double check, but it's not there, so it doesn't matter. Saving throw or attack roll, so not an ability check.
All right, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, you're still not able to unlock its secrets as of yet. Someday.
Have to get the password.
Hey, you know what? You just hit level 8. You could have taken a feat that gave you expertise in Arcana and other ways to bump
Yeah.
that, but you didn't
could have,
decide to do that.
Nope, and that's fine. I'm satisfied with what I did.
Okay,
So-
I'm just saying. Booyah.
Just booyah.
Just just saying. There was other paths you could have taken. What do you have to roll on the die in order to hit that even?
That's well. So assuming, well, it kind of depends on what I roll on guidance, but my Arcana is a +7,
+7. So you'd
so
have to get
basically a 19 or a 20 and a DC.
yeah, a 19 or a 20 and at least a 3 or 4 on guidance.
Yeah.
So it's possible. Or if you just get a natural 20, natural 20 is an auto success. So
Right.
but anyway, you are the its secrets remain locked to you, though it appears to be amplifying this connection you have with Athena.
Cool. I'll just make my notes about the things that it did during the fight and plan to look at it again later.
All right. So while Artanis is doing all this science, is anybody else doing anything?
Resting the
I'm
fuck
keeping an
up.
eye out to make sure that nothing comes out of the gaping chasm at us.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah, I'm patrolling the hallway by the tadpole tank, just looking at this disgusting thing.
Well, we are a ways from the tadpole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are a ways
Oh.
from the tadpole tank.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
we're
then-
out here.
We're several miles from the tadpole tank.
miles from the tadpole tank.
All right. Well, then I am just patrolling the hallway in the other direction. I'm not looking into the chasm.
So Artanis finishes his investigating. No danger seems to be apparent at the moment. You're all getting pretty exhausted, and you're feeling pretty like it's time for a rest. Like you've been going for a while. Like obviously it's impossible to track day and night down here, but you guys definitely have had a full day.
We have had a day.
We certainly have.
Yeah, I'll take first. You guys seem pretty beat.
I can join you on that one.
Okay.
All right. So the elves begin to trance first. As Vistra, Mel, and Ossel set up. I'm assuming you create the dome, Artanis.
Yep.
As you guys begin your watch, Vistra is kind of not being distant. She's just seems to be. She's not quite inside the dome while she's on watch. She's just kind of off to the side a little bit, keeping her head on a swivel. More you get it. It's more like she's trying to give you your space than being like distant. You guys, with everything that happened with Thorn and stuff, you get the sense that she's just trying to let you, like, give you your space. Is there anything you guys would like to do during your watch?
Just kind of half keeping watch outside and partly also keeping an eye on Ossel.
Yeah, there's also just pace around with the crossbow for a little bit. Kind of looks back at the chasm. Just kind of checks her whole perimeter. When she believes she's not being watched, she's just gonna find a little portion of like the wall that's a little bit cracked and like a little alcove, and she's finally gonna let her emotions get the best of her, and she's just gonna mourn properly, quietly, not to, but like really let it out.
Ravina kind of lands and nuzzles up India to try and give you some comfort. Also, make a stealth check. Mel, make a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
16.
I got a natural 19, so a lot.
You see all of this, Mel.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you decide to engage with it or not is up to you. But
She knows Ossel does not like to display any of this publicly, so she's not going to acknowledge it, but she will essentially keep watch so that Vistra doesn't get any closer to the area. She'll take over this particular section of area to watch. And just hyper focus on that.
totally. Towards the end of the 4 hours, Mel, you hear Master Krios say, she kind of almost timidly at first, but kind of pipes in and says, your compatriot that left, he's had quite the weight on his mind the last several days.
Given what happened, I'm not surprised by that at all.
He did what he thought was best for the group. Can't blame him for that, whether he was right or wrong.
And
His
I'm not.
intentions. I didn't think you were. I just...
Flacco's gonna do the same thing. I can't really speak on behalf of him.
The threats were two very different things. Not exactly apples to apples.
Fair enough.
These, I've been trying to reach out to the souls of these things that you and your compatriots are calling mind flayers.
Mm-hmm.
They do not appear to be the children of the gods. I can't sense anything like that in them. There's something else.
Kinda like that giant.
Somewhat, but different still. I do not believe they are from this plane of existence. Natively.
Great. So this place is infested with outsiders. What the hell are they doing down here?
My first guess, based on my experience, this looks an awful lot like establishing a beachhead.
An invasion force.
Or the vanguard of one.
Fuck. That would make sense with a pool.
Might want to let your friends know.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyway, it's about time for you to get some rest. You've had a rough day.
That's an understatement.
Unless there's anything else you want to say, she is done with the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Well, just
But
kind of
you're- sorry.
eventually, just while still focused on, still focused forward on the chasm, but knowing that at least Ossel's within earshot, just gonna quietly say, about time to get some rest. And then she'll turn and go back to the dome.
All right. Your watch ends uneventfully as you wake up, as Artanis and Donald come out of their trance.
Car's
The
extended
three of
warranty.
you
God damn
lay
it.
down in your bedrolls to get some sleep as Artanis and Donald begin their 8-hour watch. What, if anything, would you guys like to do or talk about?
Unless there's something Donal wants to talk about, what I'd like to do is essentially take some loose pages from Porcia's journal, like blank pages, and start making some copies of my notes,
All right, Mountain.
specifically
Hydrating,
around
thank you.
things we've learned about creatures around here, like the mind
So
flayers.
literally just like traditional scribe activities of copying exactly word for word from one page to another to make sure that there's multiple copies in case one gets destroyed, kind of thing.
That, or to be able to easily give it to other people like dwarves or whoever that might be able
Sure.
to make.
Which, yeah, same thing, but yeah. Sure. You have 8 hours, so you could do quite a bit of that, as you don't have a ton of notes yet. But for sure, you could probably. I'll say you could probably, if that's all you do, you could make 3 copies.
Perfect.
Donald.
Nothing Donald wants to do. Maybe
Alright.
ping for mushrooms, actually. While we're here.
What's the distance on that again?
5 miles, I think.
5 miles.
5 miles.
5 mile. You do not get anything within 5 miles.
Alrighty.
Excuse me for 1 minute. I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Yeah, ready, drink.
Drink. And then also go to the bathroom.
You're not gonna check out the fantasy iPad messages?
I wanted to wait until after we rested in case we accidentally caused them to be summoned here and we get into another fight. I'm definitely not pressing the communications button though.
As long as there's no new messages, I think we should be fine. Because then we're like, it's gonna say red, but as long as it's only old messages, we should be fine. I'm literally outside my wheelhouse because I have an Android. I've never owned an iPhone, so I don't actually know how that
You guys wake from your 8 hours of sleep. All of you have gained the benefits of a long rest. Get your spell slots back, your hit dice back, your hit points back full. As you come to consciousness in the morning, what would you like to do? Or morning, after your sleep?
2 things. I'm going to explore the messages on the flesh thing, but before I do that, I would like to send to Blurt.
Oh, okay.
So I'll send him a message. This is what I'll say. So, Blurt, how are things there? Friendly elves are coming to assist. Help them make contact with the High Hill people. Will take time for us to return.
Blurt knows they're coming. He has instructions for when they get there.
Indeed. What's the current date, Datekeeper?
It is, if it's the next morning, then it's January 27th.
January 27th. All right. Your response is they have yet to arrive. The last of the Al Ruwam refugees have arrived. The Deepwater port is finished. There has been increased patrol activity of Calcarian ships outside of our waters.
I will pass that information along to the group. Is there anything else you want me to tell him?
Let me remind myself. We have 2 ships that aren't currently being used, right?
You have 2 keelboats that
Keelboats. That's the kind of.
the island is kind of using as a resource for doing different things.
Okay.
Mostly because the road between the mining and quarry facility and the keep has yet to be built. It's been being used a lot to transport stone and ore from that part of the island further south towards where the keep is, and around to the other side of the island where they were building the Deepwater port.
Right. Okay. Um.
At least when you left, that's what it was being used for mostly.
Yeah. Tell Blurt to tell Phoebos that he should keep an eye on their patrols. Make sure they're not straying into our water.
Can I also tell him to start at least directing plans for a wizard's tower so I can start enchanting stuff for everybody?
Do they have the funds there for that?
They do not have the funds there for that.
Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Come on,
They have
old payday loan. Get it going.
they have 1,859 gold.
Goddamn. Yeah, we need some merchants to actually
cool.
get some income going.
Oh yes.
So just tell him to have Phoebos use the ships to do our own patrols?
Yeah. Or at least one of them, as much as he can divert from whatever tasks they're already on. Should be good practice for younger sailors, if nothing else. Just have them out and sailing and watching other ships.
Okay, so I'll send to him again, saying I will check in again when I can. In the meantime, have Phoebos use the existing ships as much as to do our own patrols without interrupting other critical activities.
You get a response back that says, since the port was finished, they've mostly been used to get more food. We have a bigger population now, so fishing mostly. He says, I'm assuming you don't want them to engage the Calcarian ships, just monitor? Question mark.
Yes.
Right, that is my third and final sending that I'm going to use today. Yes, do not engage.
You get a response that says, I'll have Phoebos change the fishing patterns to where the Calcarian ships have been patrolling.
Cool.
Two birds for one. All right. You guys are finishing up putting away camp. What would you like to do?
Time to see what messages are on this flesh device.
Yeah, about these things. Had a similar situation to back when we fought that giant. These things aren't from this plane. They weren't made by these gods.
Were they made by the Titans?
Don't think so. Probably they're outsiders of some kind. Which means this is probably some kind of spearhead of an invasion force. It would make sense.
How do you know that?
It does make sense.
Given what they're trying to do, at least whatever reason is there for some kind of outsiders to be down here with those tanks doing experiments, doing whatever the fuck they're doing.
They're setting up weapons, they're setting up a way to get more of themselves, or to make more of themselves. We know that there's the portal at the Watcher's Pool, right?
It has been referred to as such, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a portal at the Watcher's Pool that, if they're coming in this way, I assume they're using in some way, shape, or form. And they're nice and secret down here. So they can set things up in our world before, or in our realm, before anybody knows they're here. It's just that we came in and decided to walk
Touch
through
space.
everything. We sure did.
One vanguard found another vanguard.
Huh.
Indeed. Well done.
Yeah, that's essentially kind of what you're seeing, Mel, is the dwarves sent a vanguard down here, and so now they're in this like brutal like territory war, like where it's almost like world like this like sort of like
Mm-hmm.
almost like World
a
War
tug of
One
war.
level trench, yeah, kind of like
So,
you know.
our understanding from that then is the dwarves are basically just barely keeping at bay the tip of a spear of what is likely a much larger invasion force.
Well, it would have. I mean, it appears that way. So the land that they hold, it was a couple hundred years after the Titan Wars before they started in force trying to push into the halls. But it's also been a couple centuries since that, 2 or 3. And you can see the line of like how much ground they've gained. So
A lot of things down here that are more than just this invasion force.
but at
They're
the
setting
same
up. Go ahead.
sorry, but at the same time, I mean, as you've experienced just a small portion of this sprawling tunnel network, you don't know how many different paths to the surface there are.
True.
That could come out into the frozen wastes of Ethmond.
Hopefully none.
Really think your ancestors built this place with only 2 exits?
Well, we made a flood room that wasn't attached to any water, so.
You know, you do have a point there. I don't have a response to that.
Well then, unless Mel has any other information to share, should we check what messages are? Can we come up with a better name than flash device?
That's your call.
An
iPhone.
eye gross.
iPhone.
What?
They're more like I think I was calling them flesh frames.
Hey, Rukov.
Yeah, I'm just
One
gonna
preview
call
of
it
a
the
from that.
device.
Nice.
That's even longer.
How you doing?
True,
Call it a
but
calm.
fair. That seems more accurate.
We'll start
Glad to
doing
hear it.
comprehend language now before you start reading it, right?
Yeah. So comprehending languages, and then I'm going to. What I'm planning to do is check the messages and the map, but I don't intend to interact with the communication part of it.
Okay. There's one thing in the messages. At the top, it just says orders. And underneath, it gives what is essentially coordinates for the room where you encountered them in. And it seems that these guys were
Hey, Kelly, how you
their
doing?
orders were to essentially establish that uh, insemination depot. Like they were the engineers there to install it. It's essentially just like an order sheet that you would get in the military. Like, go to this place, install this equipment at this time. Respond when you've finished.
Cool.
You switch over to the map, and you can see
Oh, hell yeah.
exactly what you see here.
I'm sorry we were already
And
at
as a
the
matter
end.
of fact, you see a little blinking dot where
meet new people.
you guess you guys are, where you would guess you are,
Thanks for sending people my way.
right there.
Not
Huh.
where the insemination room was, where we currently are.
Where you currently stand, yes.
So it's a UPS.
You also see, I'm going to do it this way. In this general area, this little collection of rooms here, you see what is essentially a like a s- like a like a like a like a like a Google Maps image of a city. like a base. There's things labeled as like there's one thing that's labeled slave quarters. There's another thing that's labeled cloning tanks. There's another area that's labeled insemination grounds. There's another area, and then in the very center, in like the biggest room, there's a label that says Elderbrain Temple.
Want to go there?
I'm sorry, what?
I don't like the sound of that.
I won't know.
All right, obviously, I share all that information.
There's another one that's labeled like research, weapons research facility. There's another one that's labeled what's it called? Not it translates to like dungeon or cells or like holding pens. And then there's a last one that's called genetic modification laboratory.
Aw. I appreciate
I'm
you stopping by
curious.
anytime.
Cool.
Oh,
Be curious
no.
on your own time.
What are you curious about? Before you touch anything this time.
What is happening? The weapons research facility is at the same place that we were, or do they have like a new weapons research facility?
No, this looks like a bigger, like it's a bigger.
Living the dream, huh, Kelly?
That one looks like it was like a field. The one
Yes,
you were in
technically I am
looks
too,
like it was
kind
like
of,
a
maybe?
field research
I'm
facility.
living the fantasy right
Got
now,
it.
so.
So I share all that. One, this weapons research facility, of course, is probably highly guarded, but probably has a lot of interesting weapons and information. Two, they have holding pens and slave quarters. So I wonder if there are dwarves or other creatures that
Fair
need to
enough.
be freed down here. And I'm curious as to what an Elderbrain Temple is.
You're not wrong.
Counterpoint. That's a terrible idea. Going into sea is a terrible idea. This isn't like we're walking into an open city where we can hop over the walls or go in through a forest or something. There's a limited number of ways we can get in and out of here, and they're going to be watching all of them. And we can't exactly wander around a city freely where the main inhabitants have tentacles on their faces, and we do not have tentacles on our faces.
And they can apparently
And
get in
do
your
not
fucking head.
suggest that we cut the tentacles off of those things and put them on our faces. It'll look terrible. It'll look terrible, and we don't have enough tentacles for that.
Vistra says, "I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I cannot agree more with the arrows."
Oh yeah, we don't have to worry about
Oh yes, we don't have to worry about the minstrel hearing my name now.
No offense, that just felt dirty.
I
Dang it.
understand. Don't worry.
Wow.
This is a terrible idea.
Tell me a thing you never thought you'd say in your life. Check. Gotcha.
Thank
All
you very
right.
much, Rukov. That's very kind of you.
This is where we currently are, right?
That is where you currently are. That is your little it keeps your little ping that kind of every once in a while. It's like when you're playing a video game and you open the map and you have your little
Yeah.
and like yeah.
So my other thought on this, looking at this comm device, is this blinking light. Is it there simply for the user's convenience, or does that mean that they can track our position if we're holding this?
Well, you got the message board
Extremely
right there.
unclear.
Hit communications and then ask the person on the other side to see. If
No, do not ask the person on the other side.
Wow. Oh, we're fine. Everyone's fine here. How are you?
Do not do that.
I don't know. I kind of like Ossel's idea.
Should we leave this behind, or should we bring it with us then?
I mean, unless we're getting
something new out of
Yeah.
it, then
pings from
Yeah.
other devices. I mean, we have more than one, right? We have more than one flesh picture frame.
You have exactly. I believe you took. Yeah, you have like
3, I
dozen-
think.
no, because you
Oh.
took all the ones. I'm pretty sure you took all the ones from the biological weapons research facility.
Oh
Um,
damn!
So I
Do those
think
have different messages on them?
first, I believe you have those two. So you have 8 of them. And you open those ones. They have the same map things on them. I'm assuming you still don't click on communications, but
Correct.
they don't have any saved messages on them. The rest of them. The second one that the other mind flayer was carrying that you killed, those
Oh.
two are identical in like what they have on them.
Got it.
Cool. Give me one of those.
Oh,
We have
no.
more than one flesh iPad, Kelly.
Share your technology.
I'm gonna make an insight check on Asa.
Ossel? Make an insight
I don't
check.
know what it is with
Also, I'll let
aberrations
you
and
respond
flesh
as you see
blank,
fit based on
but
the
it's
check.
happened in 2 of my
Alright.
campaigns. Like Wild Times in Wildmount on Saturdays,
Also, be
we had a
specific as to what you're trying
elf
to
skin
do.
bag of holding.
Artanis, what are you
It
attempting
does
to
not. I am all right. So, obviously she's distraught at the loss of her brother, and
Because I'm a
walk-
woman, I can't make rash decisions. This is ridiculous.
you just happen to be doing that recently, and I am aware that loss can make us do some crazy things. So I'm trying to get a sense as to whether she's going to do something unwise if I give this to her. However, I rolled a natural 1.
There we go.
You have no reason to mistrust her.
Also, don't do anything stupid.
I hand
I'm
her a
not.
picture frame, a
Alright.
communication device.
Alright. I guess. There, Dom, walk with me. And I'm going to start walking away from Artanis. Artanis, just let me know if you see a secondary blip on your screen.
Sure.
Sure.
What
I'll
the fuck
go
is a
with
blip?
And I'll just walk like 500 feet away and try to see if like there's a secondary location, like 500 feet away. Be like, all right, that's cool. Then walk back with.
You take
Domo.
it out and you activate the map on yours also, yes?
Yes.
And you start walking back the way you guys came, 500 feet. As you're watching yours, Artanis, after about like 300 feet, you see 2 separate dots on each.
Yeah, I can see a dot for where you are.
Awesome. So after we walk 500 feet and we walk back, I go, cool, great. So we know if they're
They
looking
can track
at it.
us.
Yeah, they could track us, and we could also track them. So it's a double-edged sword.
Do we see any other dots for on the map for other devices being used?
You don't at the moment. You're not sure if that's because there's like a certain range on them, or if it's because these ones are linked together or something. The ones that you've found, because you're using the 2 that were on the 2 guys, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're not sure if these were like linked on like, for lack of a better term, local network or something. But you're not seeing any other markers on them.
Huh. I'd like to study these more, but I genuinely have some concerns that they could start tracking our location with these.
I mean, thus far they've been able to track our location through the bodies, but I don't see any reason to make it easier for them. Let's drop them. If nothing else, we can drop them in a cubby in a wall somewhere. Pick them up on our way back out if you really want them.
Any objections? All right, let's leave these in a corner somewhere.
All right. You do so. That done, what would you like to do?
Let's get going. The less time we spend around this horrible apparent city down here,
Yeah.
better.
Let's be extra careful when we get around this section.
Depending on how much time we have, we might want to at least warn people if you have any spells left by the end of the night. Just in case anything happens to us down here, they at least know what they're dealing with a little bit better.
That's a good idea.
Vistra looks at you, Mel, and says, thank you. Yeah, thanks. So then she says, and she just points to the void.
Right. Everybody line up, T-pose, get ready for the owls.
What?
You stand like a T,
Okay.
like the letter, not the drink.
Right.
You cast Conjure Animals, I assume.
I certainly do. Get us some more owls.
As as you conjure them and they appear from the Fey realm, brought to you by your two little fairy buddies. They swoop down, pick you up, and begin to carry you across the chasm. As you're flying over, you get to a spot where pretty quickly, where you turn and look over your shoulder and can't see where you took off from, and look forward and see nothing but darkness. So you're literally just flying for a while, and you can't see anything but the owl above you in black and white and blackness all around you, unless somebody has a light source going.
Oh, we're halfway there. Oh.
But eventually, the owls, it comes into view, the other side, as one of them as they all have to like bank around and begin doing this circular pattern, as the other side is even more narrow and their wingspan can't fit into that tunnel.
Gimme! Hey, I think it's
So
a
now,
raid.
about 60
How's
feet
your
out,
stream?
they're in a tight circling pattern,
Flying above a chasm on owls.
giving you guys an opportunity to communicate.
Fuck. Anybody have any good ideas?
Shit, did I forget my chatbot again? Damn it! I always
How
forget
tight we
something. I
talking?
always forget something.
Sorry, what I miss?
The owls cannot get to the end of the void.
Like Happy
The
Early?
opening on the other side is not big enough for them to fit through with their wingspan.
Can they perch on the edge of it? Or, like,
Not
yeet
while
us?
holding you.
Can they yeet us into the opening?
They can certainly try.
Oh boy.
I don't know if I want to trust the owls that much.
Here we go.
Let's see what I've got in my inventory.
Or, like, come into land as if to land to drop us off, and then drop, instead of landing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, come in and and just kind of let go and let the velocity take you in. You can try.
Anybody have any better ideas?
Just crash land. Fucking send me in there.
Is it literally just a hole in a wall, or is there any outcrop?
It's like a hole in a wall. You've gotten
Yeet
to
us into the
the
void
section
hole.
of the halls where it's pretty much just like mining operations. So as opposed to these big, huge, wide halls, these grandiose halls that you saw early on, everything's a lot more narrow and a little bit more like all the fancy relief carvings are gone. It's a lot more just kind of like practical for work use. You get the sense that there was probably they didn't even have a tunnel across this thing. It was probably just an open minecart bridge at one point that's just gone.
Okay. So I have an idea, but all right. So I can Misty Step over into the hole. So I don't have a problem. Like if we can get within like 30 feet, I don't have a problem getting over there.
Yeah, they could swoop in and kind of like bank out and get you within 30 feet.
So if I were to do that,
I mean, they've technically already done that and then
Right.
pulled back so you guys could circle and talk.
So if I were to do that, can I make my floating disc in such a way that, like, I know it can't just hang out over the void completely, but could I like have it hang like halfway over so that it creates like a landing step for everybody else?
Uh, you could. You don't know how effective it would be, but you could certainly try.
I can try that, unless I'm just looking what else I have.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kelly. I have to copy that and send this to them.
What's
I have to
what's
do
the
it.
closest wall like they can get us by? Like
Uh,
safely, like hovering in air, but still, but
like they're not helicopters. They can't hover.
The
okay.
other thing that I
They're
can
also not
do.
hummingbirds. They're owls. But they can basically like they can do like what they did before. They can come sliding in, um, and kind of like bank around or like bring you in and kind of like almost like a like Luke in the bomber mission try to get you inside like get the photon torpedoes into the into
That's gonna be
the
fucking stuck in my
chute.
head now. Give
The
me
other
the
thing that
big
I could do
cows
is
and
if
free
like
my
they
soul. I
can like
wanna get tossed in
fly
that
up
fucking hole and
above
sneak away.
the hole and then everybody jump off,
Sent it.
I could feather fall and try to grab people as they're slowly falling towards. With the floating disc step there to hopefully help that a little bit. Anything else anybody wants to try?
If I can get the bird to stay still for a second, I could climber's kit. I could pint into the wall, and we could just, climber over there. I think we all took climber's kits, right?
Oh,
Yep.
wait a minute. Where is the? If they can get close enough. Actually, can we? Can I reach anything? Can I like reach any equipment while I'm being held by a bird?
I have no idea.
That's what I'm-
Depends how bendy you are, I guess.
Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Yes, you can get into your stuff.
All right. Then I'm gonna take out the immovable rod. Maybe this can help us. At least have something to hold on to. Get. Can
Rope, immovable rod, Tarzan. Is that what's going on here?
potentially.
Oh,
Gesundheit.
That's why I'm just coughing.
Oh.
Yeah, can grab some of the rope. I think I actually have silk rope. Tie that to the movable rod. See if we can get close enough to click it into place where it would be at a point where people could get in.
So where do you want to place it? Above the opening? Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, above the opening.
In the hopes that
People could at least grab onto rope and be able to like.
swing.
Yeah. Swing in.
Yeah. Do you want to attempt that?
Yeah.
All right. So you explain to Donald what you want done. Donald, you give the instructions to the owl. As you've tied the silk rope to it. The owl begins run like a straight um, at the opening, and you're kind of there holding the rod, waiting for the moment to click it and let go, so it'll hold in place at the right time. Go ahead and make just a straight intelligence check for me to time it right and put it in the right spot as the owl begins to like bank near the opening, so it doesn't
Okay.
crash into the wall.
Okay. Natural 18, so 19.
Yeah. You click it and let go as the owl banks to the right, and leave it exactly where you were hoping to place it.
Oh, thank fuck.
As your owl banks back around and rejoins the circle, the circling in the gorge.
All right. I might be able to go first from here. If I can get in, I can maybe connect it to something in there, make sure the rope is sturdy, so that way grab hold of it, be able to grab anybody coming in, pull them over.
Sure, it's as good as anything else.
Okay.
All right, so this time you're gonna try and implement your plan. The owl comes swinging in, um, as it comes streaking towards the rope. You get ready. The owl lets go as you extract it. Make an acrobatics check.
Okay, that's what I'm a bit better at.
This time, as you go flying through the air towards the rope, you reach out to grab it, and
19.
19 total.
Mm-hmm.
You grab it and swing, swing as the arc comes around, and you're for a moment they're worried that you might have grabbed a little bit too high on the rope, but as you come in, you land and come down onto a knee, landing on the opening with the rope still in your left hand.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Got it. I'm gonna look around and see if there's anything here to either tie the end to, or I can focus on making sure it's at least steadied.
Make a perception check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Not that far from the entrance, there is a natural stalactite, a small one, that you think you could tie your end around. Though I don't know why you want to do that.
They at least want something to kind of like arc it back in, so just to provide a little bit more leverage in case they can't keep hold of it to pull somebody. They want kind of like that back of the
Well,
tug of war.
if you tie it off to this thing, it's not going to be able to swing anymore.
I thought there might be enough rope for the ending there to. Well, it wasn't so much having it swing as much as being able to pull people in once they grab hold of the rope. Then I can kind of like.
The other end's tied to the rod that's still above the opening.
Right.
So it's got like a little, like almost like a little slight bend to it as it goes into the open tunnel area.
If you do it up high, you can make like a zip line.
Yeah, that's what you have more of right now, is a zip line type of.
Okay. Then yeah, setting up zip line type setup.
All right. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm Misty stepping in.
Okay. You have your owl bank in within 30 feet, and you misty step and appear right next to Mel.
And I'll try to put the floating disc platform out there, just in case it helps even a little bit.
Sure. You get about halfway out, so you have an extra 5-foot lip to the opening.
All right, Vistra, you're up.
He goes, yeah, fuck you.
What? Ladies first. You want me to do it? I'll do it. Show you how it's done. Remembering I have boots of striding and springing, just in case things go wrong.
What are you going to stride or spring off of? Your feet are dangling at the moment.
I hope I'll eventually hit something.
That
I
is
might not-
technically true. Eventually you will hit something.
So,
Unless you fall out the bottom of the flat earth that you think you're on.
yeah, definitely flat Earth confirmed. I'll have the thing bank around, and I'll just jump for the fucking rope.
You're going to jump for the rope? All right.
Yeah,
Make
Nathan Drake this shit.
Make an acrobatics check.
I don't want to. I would like to make an athletics check.
This is acrobatics for sure.
This is. Come on, Yennefer, don't fail me. Not great.
You named your dice Yennefer?
No, I bought the Witcher dice, so
Oh.
specifically Yennefer. But Yennefer has indeed fucked me. That would be a 10 total.
An 11?
A 10 total.
A 10 total. The owl banks in, lets go. You reach out, swinging for the rope with both hands, and they cross in front of you, and you begin falling.
Shit. Can I fucking
So and all of you see this.
I'll tell the owls to go after him. Artanis, please.
Yeah, Featherfall.
You cast Featherfall.
Ah!
Oh, you begin kind of slowly floating as your owl comes back around and scoops you back up, Ossel.
Just push me towards the wall.
It begins flying. Since it had to dive down, it begins flying up, like very close to the wall. And you get the sense that it's going to let go at a certain point and try and do that like straight up the wall kind of climb.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make another acrobatics check for me.
Okay. If I could jump off the wall.
Acrobatics check.
God damn it! All right. I'm not using Yennefer. I'm using Cirilla. Come on.
I said make an acrobatics check, boy.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. 15.
15. Because of the lowered DC, because of the little platform that Artanis made, you are able to land and tumble into the thing, kind of landing at Artanis's feet.
Not cool, but thank you, Artanis, for saving my life.
Yeah, very not cool and smooth, but you are on the other side.
Excuse me, I'm going to.
Who's next? Donald.
Vistra, why don't you go first?
She looks at you and says, "That's cute. This is your plan."
How is it my... Alright, I'm gonna swoop in and try and...
You're gonna try
hopefully
and
before... Yeah, hopefully before the owl drops me, I will grab the rope, but... If he must drop me, he must drop me.
Can't impact the rod, so it has to kind of like do this thing where it comes in and then lets go and banks off. You know what I mean? So it doesn't like run into the wall.
Can't you like turn into something that can climb the rope really well?
I guess, yeah, actually, you know what? I guess I can just turn into a spider. Eat me at the wall and I'll turn... Sorry, throw me at the wall and I'll turn into a spider.
All right, so you instruct the owl to just throw you at the wall.
Yeah. I'll turn into a spider and climb up.
You turn into a spider. You use one of your B shapes. Because you use one of your B shapes, I'm not. And you're the creature you're turning into a spider climb. You just have to make an acrobatics check with the spider. Super easy, DC 10.
What's spider dex?
You have D&D Beyond. Go ahead and look that sucker up, baby. It's D&D.
That's what I'm doing.
D&D.
Spider dex is actually worse than my normal dex.
Yeah, but it's a much lower DC than if you were doing it with your normal
There we
dice.
go.
There we go.
60, yeah, easy enough. It lets go of you in mid your red and green fairy lights in mid flight kind of splash fairy dust on you as you shift into your spider form and land and stick against the wall, and you just kind of like crawl in around the inside and come back down on the inside. Do you change back or do you stay in spider form?
I'll stay in spider form for now. I'll crawl
Okay.
up onto Artanis' shoulder.
You watch as this spider comes crawling up onto your shoulder, Martinez.
And he waves a single arm at you.
Since I like this rule for druids, so because I stole it from somebody else, there's always something that delineates you, and no matter what form you turn into, that keeps that it stays you. What is your thing, Artanis? No matter what form you take, what's that one thing? Like for Keyleth, she always has the antlers. For other druids, it's something else. Like they have like a certain color streak in their color or fur. Whatever. What's your little signature so that you know it's you?
Top of his head is always white.
Yeah. So there's this like white patch on the spider's head.
It just waves a spider hand at you.
Martinez is like, that's not less creepy.
Yep.
Fascinating.
All right, so Vistra is gonna give it her best. She pulls out her battle axe and is gonna try and use the haft like as a thing on the zip line. She's gonna make an acrobatics check. She's not super dexy.
Anyway, I can
But-
aid her on this at all.
I don't know what could you do to try and aid her.
Trying to think of what I can at least be there to spot her. And like if she looks like she's close but about to go, I can grab her.
Well, we'll see then. Here we go. The owl comes flying in. Let's go. Vistra, you can see immediately is not lined up right. She's heading for just to the left of the opening as she cracks against the wall and suffers. Real quick, before you do anything, just let me do this. Suffers 10 points of damage. As she kind of like splats onto the wall next to the opening, just to the left. What are you doing?
I'm feather falling to keep her from sliding off into the void too quickly.
All right, Mel, you can make an athletics check with advantage because she's falling so slowly to try and grab her and yank her into the opening.
Okay. 16.
16, yeah. As she kind of like starts sliding down the wall, you reach out, grab her, and yank her in as she kind of lands on her feet and says, "Oh, ow."
Yeah.
Right?
Look up. Just take both my thumbs and just.
Yeah, her nose gets back and she's like, "Ah, okay, thank you."
Yeah. Hey, Tannis, can you move your thing up underneath the, or at least like directly underneath the rod? I'm gonna go try to get back.
You cannot, because that would put it out over the void, Artanis.
All right, shit. Well, everybody, would you mind holding onto the rope?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll anchor it. I don't know why anybody else is grabbing it.
The spider clambers down onto
Just
the
in
rope and gives a
case.
wave.
Vistra and me are anchoring it. We have a spider and an Artanis, which I know has a strength of fucking not.
Look, the spider might have a higher strength than I do.
I'm gonna go climb up the thing and then click the. Or basically, climb up, try to like wrap my hand around it, kind of around the silk for some
sure.
extra support, and then click the.
For sure. So I'm going to say without too much trouble, you're able to climb out there. However, when you do unclick it, you're going to fall. So I'm going to have you wrap your arm around, make an athletics check to, as you fall, make sure you hold on.
Mhm.
I'll feather fall her again.
Oh, you feather fall again? All right, you feather fall. You don't even have to make a check as they easily pull you up and in, no problem. You,
Okay.
rod retrieved.
Okay.
If you're gonna expend resources and stuff like spells. It makes stuff a lot easier. You don't have to make as many checks.
Yeah, I have spent a lot of spells.
Yeah.
You guys are all on the other side of the cavern.
I look at the spider. I look at Artanis. I look at the spider, and I go, "Could you have made spiders?" But I say it to the spider.
I mean, the chasm. Are there walls like above the chasm that we could have spider climbed on?
You couldn't see the top. You saw the walls going up. You didn't see a ceiling.
The spider will kind of shrug.
Cool. I'll light up my hooded lantern.
Okay. Light up your hooded lantern. You guys start marching.
I'll say
Yep.
they needs a breather, but yeah.
What kind of a pace are we keeping? A slow, stealthy pace, a normal pace, or a fast pace?
Definitely not fast.
Yeah.
Normal, right, guys?
Say that, or at least
Um,
I try to be a bit more stealthy and stay up front. Try to scout a bit.
Yeah, normal's fine with me.
I'm gonna continue to be a spider for a little while and just hitch a ride on somebody.
Okay. For sure. Um. So you can't get too far ahead, Mel, as moving at stealthy speed makes you move at half speed. So you have to expend your action to dash and your bonus action to stealth because rogue stuff. So you're able to stay a little bit in front of the party, but not like you're not able. They give you a little bit of essentially however much of a head start they give you. That's how far ahead you're able to stay. Um, which how much of a head start do you want to take, Mel?
I'll try to stay at like at least 60 to 80 feet ahead.
Okay.
Like even half speed is 25 for me, so.
Yeah. So you move out ahead. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me,
Okay.
Mel. The rest of you aren't stealthing, so.
22.
22. And then make a perception check for me.
15.
15? Okay. You guys march for several hours, for a few hours, best as you can tell. As you get to that elbow and take the turn, after about another 30 minutes, up ahead, Mel, you begin to hear what sounds like the shuffling of feet and low voices. You are in darkness because the hooded lantern is back behind you. You can't see where the sounds are coming from. It's coming from beyond your dark vision. So you're not sure how far ahead it is. But it's just like it's not like, it doesn't sound like whatever's up ahead is trying to be quiet or stealthy or anything. But they're not being like loud and boisterous either. But you're able to catch just the sounds of like different feet kind of like shuffling around, and the sounds of low voices. You can't make out any words or anything like that. It's kind of like that Charlie Brown effect a little bit, because it's so far away. And you can begin to see the light from a hooded lantern coming up behind you in the tunnel, which you
Yeah.
imagine is Ossel in the party.
Yeah. As soon as I start to see that, I'm gonna try to like stealth backwards toward them to as soon as they can see me, holding out the hand and
Make another stealth check for me.
dirty 20.
Okay. You come quietly jogging back to the party as you guys see at the edge of your dim light. Also, you see Mel coming up with her hands up as like a stop.
Stop and then finger to lips.
And I'll close the hooded lantern.
And me back up and say, I heard voices up there, shuffling. Couldn't make out anything, but there's definitely something up there. Something that seems to at least be intelligent.
Is it a recognizable language?
If it was, I couldn't tell. Couldn't make out any words, but definitely people up there.
I will shift back into a person. Voices means it's at least probably not more mind flayers. They don't have mouths.
There. I can try to get closer and see what exactly, but
I could send my arcane eye, but if it turns into a fight, that won't leave me with a whole lot.
Do you want me to go look as a spider?
It's an idea.
you want to join me?
Sure.
Okay.
So do we stand here? Do we go up a little bit? What are we doing? We're pretty far away.
Mm.
If it turns bad, I don't want it to get bad for both of you.
Mm. Say go up, and then just give like the distance she was ahead, but you have to be very stealthy with it. Which, as we know from Vistra, may be a problem. If anything, I can run back. I'm probably faster than whatever this is.
Yeah.
Bring the fight to that. Bring the fight to us.
All right.
All right. So what are you doing?
I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace and shift into another spider and hop onto Mel.
All right.
We still not there.
Make another stealth check for me with an extra +10 because pass without a trace. I'll just put you under whatever her stealth check is, Dom.
Sure.
That is a 36.
Jesus Christ. People who have seen you in the past have forgotten about seeing you.
We've gone to Platt.
Yeah, like their brain can only hold so much information, and something else came in, and that's what had to go. So, You stealth right up to the edge of the opening of this slightly larger opening. As you get closer, you realize that what you heard is not words at all. It's not even a language. It's some sort of moaning.
Oh.
And as you come up to the
Oh, no.
eastern entrance to this small little opening,
Motherfucker.
this is what you see. You guys are right over here
Ooh.
somewhere. As you look in, make a perception check for me, both of you.
Hmm.
And depending on where you place yourself is going to depend.
I'm busy staring at the side of Mel's pocket or something, I guess. Just can't manage to get up over it.
It is completely pitch black in here, Mel, so depending on how far up you go, depends on how far you can see, because I believe you have dark vision out to 60 feet.
Mm-hmm. She's basically trying to get as close as possible, but probably trying to like
Well, I mean,
hug walls and hug.
with a 36, you can't quite enter the chamber,
Mm-hmm.
but you can probably get to anywhere up to here without being seen. As these are also
Yeah.
obviously, as these are
Yeah, that corner
obviously.
there.
What did you get on your perception, by the way?
17.
17. These are clearly undead creatures.
Oh yeah.
You see several skeletons, skeletal figures, kind of just wandering, shuffling around, bumping into stuff, as well as a much larger, like troll or ogre type zombified creature over here. And you can hear even more in the darkness beyond.
Oh shit. Okay.
With your 17 perception, some of the things that are the undead that are moving around, you can see that they are not completely mindless. Some of them are like digging through stuff, looking for things, it appears.
Uh-huh. What's in this particular area, like on that, is it like a table or a
Where? Here?
yeah.
It's one of those big rotating like switch tracks for
Oh
like
right. Okay.
minecarts.
About oh no, it's just out of that's just a platform for, I assume it's some kind of platform.
Yeah, that's obviously raised up there. There's you can see some sort of wooden scaffolding and construct over there
Okay.
that goes up to a higher area where you can hear some other movement.
Mm-hmm. Is this like a bigger? It's like a bigger rock. Is this something I could like hide behind?
That's a large boulder, yeah.
And try to get up to that and try to look a little bit closer.
With your stealth, yeah, you can get up to there at 36, yeah. And see a little bit more now. Obviously a little bit further into the room. Still can't see that guy over there, but
Nope.
can see all of this pretty much.
Okay. So there's just like old tools, barrels. Are the undead like looking through tools, or are they looking like in crates?
Yeah, they're everything. They're looking through everything, it appears. Some of them are looking through crates, some of them are looking through like rubble and debris. Some of them are like flipping over old mine carts and looking through them.
Okay.
Some of them are digging through just piles of stone.
Okay. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 big ones. I I assume I can't see any of them past the elevated area, right? Or would I be able to from?
You can hear them up there. You can't see them.
Okay.
And it's lighter footsteps, so you imagine it's probably more skeletons than giant ogre zombies.
Okay. Well, considering there's one like on the other side of this, I don't think I could get any closer. So after I scope out as much as I can, I'm gonna carefully head my way back to the group to let them know.
All right. You head back to the group. Make another stealth check as you leave with your +10.
That is a 32.
Yeah, without issue. You quickly make it back to the group.
Okay. Not quite a language. Decent amount of undead. Thinking I saw and heard at least maybe 8 or so. Some skeletons. Saw some pretty huge ogres that looked like they were dead.
Did you feel like you were under the effect of whatever we were experiencing when we were at a crossroads before?
I assume no. I don't.
You weren't really able to. You didn't feel anything different.
I didn't notice anything like that. Yeah, undead. And they didn't just look mindless either. They were actually looking for stuff. Like they're trying to canvas the room.
For what? To what end? Somebody's controlling them.
Most probably. Whoever it was, though, I didn't see. Couldn't really get too much further in. But they were searching through everything. Tools, barrels. It's another cross point. There were tracks.
So there's a necromancer about, we can say is likely, and that necromancer is looking for something in that room and they've sent sounds like a significant number to do that.
Seems to be the case. I don't know if they're just looking for whatever resources they can find or if they're looking for something specific, but they're canvassing that place.
Was there another pathway for us to go? I mean, we were pretty much in a straight line, right?
No, there's nothing there.
Okay, so from what we see on the map now, there are no. I mean, the path is just a straight line. There's no turns. So, did it look like the north and south paths were blocked off?
They didn't. It looked to you like they didn't go any far. They were just small, like mining tunnels that were sort of like unfinished, like the beginnings of offshoots.
Then maybe it's not a crossroads.
Hecate also is specifically the goddess of incorporeal undead. And those were very much corporeal. Also, we don't have anybody who's as far as we know, there's nobody who's favored by Hecate in that crossroads, like Portia was.
But as far as I know, undead don't come from nowhere. So
No, they don't. But
This means the book is near, guys. This is what
yes,
this is what the book should do. Create undead that are smart enough to defend themselves a little bit. They're not going to be as dull as ones we faced in the past.
Yeah.
My assumption.
these seem to have been assigned a task, right? That's what Mel said. They're looking for something.
Yeah, they're just looking in everything.
well, then maybe we keep them from completing that task.
Vistra says, I mean, I'm always down for slaughtering undead. It's kind of my thing.
About how many did you see, Mel?
I saw 6 skeletons, a couple look like undead ogres. Heard at least a couple more shuffling, but I couldn't see them. They're up higher. I couldn't see the entire room though.
I'm a bit on the limited side for a significant battle, but we can give it a shot.
Also, just takes the kite shield off her back, just shoves it under her left arm, and takes the halberd out. Alright, if we're gonna play it smart.
Halberd is a two-handed weapon.
Not as you described it previously.
No, I've never described it previously as not a two-handed weapon.
Because you said the dwarves' favorite, like, halberd and tower shield is like their,
Yeah, that's for they favor that down here. They favor spears and tower shields down here for the victorious undead. What you have is a sentinel halberd, which is a two-handed weapon, which they were wielding on the sentinel ship. You saw them wielding it two-handed without shields.
fuck that, I put that away, I pull out a spear then. I have a spear.
All right. Are we doing this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Then I need to do some prep work before we rush in there.
Vistra pulls out her battle axe and shield.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, use the gauntlet.
Are you guys just gonna charging in?
Maybe if you want me to try to Metal Gear Solid some of this shit, I can, but
Like, what's the plan here? I guess is what I'm asking. Are you just going charging in, or trying to sneak up, or what's going on?
I mean,
we still pass without trace at least, right?
Still up, yep.
I mean, I'm happy to try to sneak by and see what happens, but I definitely would want to, put all my defensive stuff up in case it turns into a fight.
Oh, I didn't mean sneak by. I thought I was saying if you want to sneak up to, like, I don't know.
I don't think we're sneaking by him.
Yeah, it's more sneaking up, yeah. Which is what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that, but like I guess before I get to the entrance, I'd like to put up Blade Song and Mirror Image and all of my good stuff.
Alright, if you guys are sneaking up, then I'm going to need stealth checks from everyone.
Okay.
Including Vistra, who has disadvantage, but a plus 10.
Don't forget your Jesus Christ. Don't forget your plus 10s.
Mm-hmm.
So Vistra got a 13 with her plus 10. 233.
23.
Damn, dog.
I have fat fingers. Leave me alone.
also erased her own existence from everybody.
Yeah.
Like, not even memory, just entire existence.
Ooh. It's pretty good, pretty good. All right, you guys come sneaking up right over here. You can place your tokens. As you come sneaking up in the back, you guys hear in the back behind you, you guys hear Vistra totally kick a rock that kind of cracks. You watch as all the undead in the room turn and look at all of you. And their eyes, or look over in that direction, all of their eyes flash with like on the interior it is this like bright crimson almost pink or fuchsia-ish color that is outlined with this like matte black energy and
Gambit. Bunch of
sort of,
undead
yeah.
gambits.
Yeah.
a little bit
So not the Mind Flayer effect that we saw for other things that were being controlled.
no, not that. And I'm gonna need you guys all to roll initiative.
Ba-ba-ba.
I am not casting Shadow Blade.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
Well, good thing you have your defensive stuff up already, Artanis.
hmm
They're definitely about to shoot the
Gauntlets
shit
on,
out of
yeah.
us.
Watch, Vistra's gonna roll in that 20.
Come on, Vistra.
Hey, man. If she does, she can get out in front and be our meat shield.
All right. What you got, Vistra? $18.
Oof.
So is Vistra the tip of the spear here?
Yep.
I guess so, yeah. Fuck.
Well, the best you guys could do was an 11.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I used it all up.
Yeah, I've been rolling like shit all night.
I was almost at the bottom of a chasm. I'm pretty happy that I'm okay.
Still breathing. Mel and Artanis, who has the higher dex?
Sure, it's Mel. Mine's a +4.
No, actually.
Nope.
What?
I only have a +3.
What?
Mm-hmm.
All right. As you guys come running up, Alrighty. We are gonna have 3 arrows coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 arrows all coming at Vistra.
Oh no.
Holy shit.
Okay. Well,
A
Who
light
has
peppering, if you will.
yeah, who has an AC of 20 at the moment. That's 2 hits. 3 more, so 5 hits.
Holy shit.
That's it. 5 hits. So 10. She takes a total of 33 points of damage as she just gets pin cushioned. So her shield is able to block some of them, but she takes a lot of damage. She didn't really heal herself from before, so she was already down 10. So she's starting. She's looking actually pretty rough. That's going to bring us to Vistra, who is going to move here, 25 feet. She is going to make, as she goes charging up, she goes, ah! She is going to make an attack with her battle axe. That hits for 6 points of damage. And she's going to do first level smite. For, yeah. Which blasts apart that skeleton. As she comes charging up. She is then going to use a bonus action to cast Shield of Faith on herself. And she is going to take her hand axe, because she's out of movement, and throw it
Yeet.
at this guy right here for 10 points of damage. As it like cleaves off, like a bunch of its ribs go scattering. That is going to end Vistra's turn, and say, as she kind of like starts like breaking off the shafts of arrows in her that found like soft spots in her armor. Also, you're up.
All right, great. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Oh, I could, because spear has reach. I don't need to get that close to this thing.
Yes.
Amazing. I forget these things.
Yeah, my spears are
Stabby stab.
better, like real spears should be. And remember, it's a one that's like other versatile weapons. It's for me, it's D8 one-handed and a D10 two-handed.
That is
Oh, yeah, Vistra needs. I'm gonna put up her aura.
21 to hit on the first.
Hits. Roll damage.
It's D8. Of course, I got a fucking 1. That's 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. It had 5 hit points left. You spear it right through its skull, and as you pull back, the skull comes away and the bones scatter, like collapse underneath it.
Cool. I have 10 more feet of movement. I don't think I can get within another No, it's 15 feet away. All right, let's see if the baby can make it.
You have 10 for me to movement?
Yeah. I only have 30 feet. I didn't count that for strike.
Ah. Well, as I was saying, so you'd have 25. Well, if you boots of striding and spring, you'd have 30 feet total.
Yeah. So I moved 20 feet total, so I only have 10 more feet.
Yeah.
I will just whistle and point to the elevated area, and I will send Ravina right here.
Nice.
And she's going to try to peck some eyes. That's not great. It's 11 to hit.
11 misses, unfortunately,
All right, cool.
as it dodges out of the way.
That is. I don't have a regular hand axe to throw. That's the sad part about my character. All right, well, I end my turn there.
All right. You could pull out your crossbow and fire at once.
Oh no, because I already have a spear and shield in one hand, so.
All right.
That
Alrighty. What is the range? 90, yeah. Out of the darkness, you see these sickly beams of light come shooting in your general direction. Also, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw as this sickly yellow ray slams into your forehead.
that is a 10 total.
um, you feel this strong sense of confusion come swimming through your mind. You cannot take reactions until the end of this creature's next turn. On your turn, you can't move, and you're going to use an action to make a melee or ranged attack against a randomly determined creature within range. If the target can't attack, it does nothing on its turn. So you are under a confused state. Another ray goes shooting at Vistra. Uh-oh.
Goddamn.
She needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Come on, Vistra.
He
Yeah.
succeeds. She still takes half damage. As this sickly black ray as it kind of like screeches as it shoots across the battlefield.
Oh, Bill, not to stop you or anything, but it would be 16 because I'm in Vistra's order. Not sure if that changes anything.
It does change things.
Oh.
Cool.
It would be 16.
Yeah, because I
Went
have
from
13.
10.
Oh no. Oh,
You went from a 10 to a 16,
Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. 13. Sorry.
which still makes a difference because the DC is 13.
Oh, okay.
Oh, very good.
So you are not confused, as a matter of fact. None of that stuff is actually
Yay.
the case.
Sorry.
As you are infused with a magical aura. However, Vistra does take 18, so 9 points of necrotic damage. She's looking super rough.
God damn.
Artanis and Mel.
Artanis first.
All right. I'm going to move up into Vistra's aura and seeing how rough she is. Hopefully, I can draw some of the attention. And I think best thing I can do is try to hurt stuff. So I'm gonna try to throw a fireball in the direction of where those beams came from. So I'll put it.
You can see 60 feet, so.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to hit.
She's got 46 hit points. She's fine. I won't forgive you, but she'll live.
Yeah, but I don't want to try to hit her if I don't have to. All right, I'm just gonna put it there.
Right at the edge of your vision.
Yep.
All right. So that's going to be. All right, I'll start with the 2 skeletons.
And DC is.
Ooh, one of them succeeded for sure. The other one did not. Go ahead and roll damage for me. I'm assuming this is a 4th level fireball because you're out of 3rd level slots.
Correct. So 96. $32 points of fire damage.
32?
Yep.
Shit.
Get fucked.
So that's 16 points of damage if they save.
Correct.
This skeleton is turned to ash. This skeleton is turned to ash. And you don't know what happens to the other ones because you can't see them.
Did we see anything from the giant fireball that went off in that area?
From the giant fireball, you do see for like a flash of a second those other 2 creatures over there, though you don't see what happens to them because you do have to kind of turn away for a second when the fireball goes off.
Hmm.
And when you look back, the light has died down because it's a flash, and you can't really
More back
see.
there.
Nothing else I can do with a bonus action at the moment, so I am done.
Mel, you're up. Dom, you're on
Okay.
deck.
Well, I am gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. I'm gonna get back behind this rock again, and I would like to take a crossbow shot at the one by Ravina here.
Alrighty. What do you get?
21.
Hits. Roll damage.
Uh, 18 total.
18
No, wait.
total.
Sorry. 20 total. Sorry.
20 total. You fire your crossbow bolt and it goes straight through where the eye would be, where there's just that energy, and it lifts the top of the head clean off as it goes and staples it to the ceiling as the body beneath it crumbles into a pile of bones.
And then I'm gonna use my bonus action to hide.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Roll your stealth check and just keep that in the back of your head in
Mhm.
case I need it for later.
Thank you.
Donald.
Alrighty, I am going to cast Wind Wall
Ooh.
and make myself a 50-foot wall of wind
Where would you like to create it?
right where I'm dragging stuff. I will draw that in a second, I promise.
Promises.
I will also move up and heal Vistra, and
Okay.
then when the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a strength save, which means this guy.
Alrighty.
So he needs to make a strength save or take a bunch of bludgeoning damage.
It's probably not. What's the DC?
16.
16? Yeah, nope.
He takes 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
As a matter of fact, he takes 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
Aha!
As this thing just gets like it's
Get
standing
wrecked.
over the top of like the old reliable geyser in Yellowstone. As it goes off, it just gets blasted and smashed into the ceiling, and then collapses into a pile of to just scatters across across the way.
Okay, and then the pink wall is my wind wall,
Nice.
and Vistra gets 8 points of healing and 2 temp HP.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'll give her a nod, and then that'll end my turn.
Alrighty. She thanks you and says, "If I run through that wall, is it gonna hurt me?"
No.
Sweet.
If
That
you run through that wall, they will be able to shoot you with more arrows, though.
all right. That brings us to these guys. That ends your turn, I'm assuming.
Yes.
30 feet. Moves there. This thing moves there. This guy right here is going to pick up a rock, and he is going to chuck it at. Let's roll a d4 here. He's going to chuck it at 1, 2, 3 at Artanis.
Cool.
That is an 18 to hit.
Nope.
All right. It just goes flying and smashes into pebbles on the wall next to Artanis. This guy right here is going to do the same thing. He's going to pick up a rock and he's going to throw it at. This one's going to go at Vistra. But that also misses. As it scatters across the ground behind you guys back into the tunnel. That ends their turn. Bring us to the top of the order. The skeletons. This one's going to move here and attack Ravina. That is a 14 to hit.
Her AC is 16.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
it swings and misses with a rusty short sword. These two guys over here are going to attempt to fire arrows through the wind wall. What happens?
They automatically miss.
They automatically
The
miss.
wind wall
Yeah.
deflects them up into the ceiling, and they
Yeah.
automatically miss.
Because they are stupid undead. They fire them right into the wind wall, and nothing happens. That brings us to Vistra, who is going to move here. And she is going to swing her battle axe at this ogre and hits, yes, twice. She is going to unload 2 first level smites.
Woohoo! Very nice.
Into this guy, so that's 28 plus 8 is 36 plus 7 is
43.
43 points of damage. Dang.
Get it, girl.
She just runs up and with 2 swings of her silvery glowing battle axe chops off one of its arms. And it just falls to the ground and like it just kind of like doesn't really react to it. But yeah. And that is going to end her turn. I should mark off. Oh, I gotta mark off the spell slots that she used. That's the last of her first levels. That brings us to Ossel.
Alright. I'm going to try to finish what she started. I'm going to stab at the ogre. Not fucking 20?
Hell yeah.
Hell
Alright,
yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points of piercing
Nice.
damage.
Still up.
Attack
These things
again.
are not hard to hit, but they're hardier creatures.
That is a 16 to hit.
16 to hit? Also
Yeah.
hits, yeah. Not super hard to hit.
Fuck, another 1. This dice sucks. That's 5 points of damage.
Alright.
And then Ravina. 18 plus a bunch.
Yeah,
of
that hits.
I'm rolling a lot of 1s tonight, guys. That's 4 points of scratchy damage.
Alright. Alrighty. Rubina scratches, digs her beak into some of the bone, but doesn't have. It seems to do something, but it doesn't have a super duper effect. Does that end your turn, Ossel?
Yeah, it's the end of it.
All right. This thing is gonna move over to here, and then. Artanis, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Cool. All right.
Also, I need you to make a constitution saving throw.
That's a 13.
13 is the DC. That's with your +3 from Vistra?
Oh no, that's a 16 then.
Alright, so yeah, you're fine.
That is a total of 6, Bill.
A total of 6
Wow.
with your +3 from Vistra?
That is correct. I rolled a 3.
Ooh,
Wow.
jeez. So you feel this confusion come across your mind, Artanis, but the codex flares, and your mind is cleared, and you're able to think clearly. Also, you see this creature finally come floating up into your dark vision. All of you. Is this little like floating head with these it is definitely necrotic and zombified, but with just these 4 eye stalks coming off of it, as it comes floating up just across. It kind of looks like that diagram that you saw a little bit. But you suffer also 17 points of necrotic damage. Artanis and Mel.
Okay. I wanted to try something, but better play it smart here. Okay, I'm going to drop my last fire. I'll drop my last fireball.
Where?
Ooh, I can get, I believe. Yeah. Right there.
Nice. All right. Roll damage.
Right.
Ooh. One of the skeletons crits on its save. The other one fails.
I'm rolling hot.
Both the ogres fail. Oops, that's...
I rolled so many fives.
Woo!
That's 39.
Sorry?
39.
39? Jeez.
Get fucked.
What's your DC?
15.
15. This guy right here rolls exactly 15.
Cool.
Both the skeletons are turned to ash. It was 39. Oof.
Yep.
Uh,
I think I rolled almost all fives.
oh Jesus, yeah, he has no shot. Oh. Yeah, no. This ogre here turned to ash.
Ooh.
Half of 39 would be
18.
18. All
19,
right.
sorry.
All right. The skeletons are gone. One of the ogres is turned to ash as well. Charred corpse on the ground. The other two things are looking super rough. I mean, they were always looking super rough. They were pretty rotted and necrotic and everything. But so it's a little harder to tell. But they are looking super crispy.
Mhm.
That end your turn, Artanis?
Yeah. Actually, I'll just take another step forward to make sure I stay in Vistra's aura.
Alrighty. That brings us to Mel.
Okay, so I rolled a 21 for my stealth for hide before.
Okay, are you attacking someone?
Yeah, because that creepy eye stalk thing just gave me like a straight shot to it.
All right, so I'll roll to see if it notices you. It was a 21, you said?
Yes.
Ooh, it's pretty good perception. With all those eyes. 22. It rolled a 22. Natural 16 plus
Fuck.
6.
I don't suppose wait, the luck can be used to disadvantage it.
It could, yeah.
I want to try it. Come on, Lady Luck, let's do this.
It's a natural 8 plus 6. So it does not notice you. Go ahead and make your attack with advantage.
All right, and I'm going to use the firebolt.
Oh, your firebolt?
Mhm.
Nice. So you load that into your crossbow.
As I
aim,
I
fire.
also bonus action radiant my branding smite.
Ooh, so is that the one that does radiant damage?
Yep.
All right.
Come on, big bucks, no whammies. Whew. Well, that's a natural 19 at least.
Ooh, that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
I need enough d6s and d8.
Sneak attack, obviously, yes.
Yep. So I need.
Too bad it wasn't the scimitar. Would have been a crit.
I know, right? I don't know. It's still a lot of d6s, so we'll hope. Okay.
No, yeah, it's still.
Okay,
You got the firebolt plus the smite plus the sneak. Yeah, it's gonna still be pretty big, I'm sure.
Let me make sure of what all I have at the moment. Okay. 4 plus. Should actually be an extra 2d6. One more d6. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. Oh yeah, main dice. So that is.
Action math.
That is 30 total.
30. You fire the bolt. It goes straight through the giant main eye, and then like detonates on the inside as this thing falls to the ground. As there was radiant damage in it, it is just dead. As it blasts apart and kind of coats the immediate area in rotted brain matter. You see your pristine little fire bolt sitting in and amongst the gross viscera.
Cool.
Uh,
And just in case, as I would also like to use Whales of the Grave to hit this one with some necrotic damage.
It is immune to necrotic
Well,
damage.
give it a shot. I never get to use that, so I might as well at least try.
Sorry. This brings us to. Oh, sorry. Anything else? I'm pretty sure that's actually you have movement left if you want to use it.
Yeah, I have movement.
Oh wait, does can you fight? You can't fire ranged weapons through a wind wall.
What? Oh, I would have had to move then. But
Yeah, you would have had to move through the wind wall.
well,
Which would take you just
like here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just so you would have used 15 feet of movement.
Yep. So honestly, the rest of it I could just fucking get back behind the.
All right, so that's what you're gonna do. All
Just
right,
ducking for cover.
Donald.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. I guess I'll keep the wind wall for now. There doesn't seem to be much for me to do, but I will scooch up in front of it and take a shot at the big zombie with my longbow. 24 for a 24 to hit.
That hits for 12 points of damage.
Alrighty, and then I'm just gonna scooch back in.
Alrighty.
We kind of seem good.
All right. That ends your turn. Or sorry, any bonus action?
Nope, I'm good.
Alrighty. This guy right here is gonna move right here. And it is going to pick up like a looks like one of the axles off of one of the mine carts that kind of fell off. It picks it up and swings it at Ossel. That is a natural 20.
Yeah.
However, you were wearing adamantine armor.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice. So it is just a normal hit.
Yeah, nothing. Like the condition didn't change because it got all.
No,
black
that didn't
pudding.
change. No.
All right, cool.
Just the AC. You can get it fixed. It just you have to take it to an armor smith.
Yeah.
But you do suffer 15 points of bludgeoning damage as it smashes this minecart axle into your breastplate.
Yeah, not fun. Ow, dick.
Kind of knocks the wind out of you a bit. This thing right here is going to swing on Ravina again.
Yeah.
And miss. As that brings us to Vistra, who is going to. Oh wait, does that thing take bludgeoning damage if it ends its turn in the wind wall?
No,
Oh, okay.
only
It's just.
for when the wall appears.
I see. All right. Vistra's going to swing on this guy. That hits. She does not want to take any chances. Nah, she No, she's going to save her second level slots. So it takes 10 points of damage. And does not roll high enough on its undead fortitude as it falls to the ground dead as she just like chops its head right off. She's going to finish moving to here. She picks up her hand axe that she threw earlier and throws it at that skeleton. Skeletons.
Get it.
That still hits for 9 points of damage.
Hey, Nexus.
But it's still up,
Thanks,
unfortunately.
Alert.
She does not roll enough damage. That brings us to Ossel.
All right.
Finish him.
I will try. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Fuck me. I wanted to jump up there and be cool. I will not, though. I'll just drop everything I got, and I'll pull out the crossbow and just... Doof, doof.
You could throw the spear
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'll do that.
full of King Leonidas, just full on. Woof, whoosh.
It's a 19 plus 5.
Roll damage.
Six.
6.
Points of damage.
Narrate its death.
Yeah.
I just go, and the thing's like trying to get at Ravina, and she just takes a big gust of wind up, and as the spear just comes in, just spear right to the face.
Nice. All right. You guys look around and realize that the danger has passed as you are out of initiative.
Is it all of the zombie floating eye creature?
What's that?
The zombified floating eye creature, are there any remains at all to look at?
I mean, there's pieces. There's a piece over here. There's a piece over there. um, if you want to try and solve that puzzle, putting it back together.
No,
Oh,
I
boy.
mean, being, undead, I'm sure that it's not enough to, like, the parts wouldn't be useful to me, but
I'm gonna pick up my part. I'm
does
gonna
it-
grab my bolt. I'm grabbing my bolt.
you said it
Yep.
seems similar to the diagram. Was it the same, or did it seem to be...
I mean, the diagram is so rudimentary that, I mean, there's a lot of things that could fit it, but based on what you've heard about, what you learned about these things called beholders, it kind of looked like an undead version of the description you got.
Cool.
But certainly not like the one you had described to you. It was like it had tentacles coming off all over the place. This one had very specifically 4.
Gotcha. Well, that thing tried to attack our mines, and I'm guessing it's some lesser version of what's ahead at the Watcher's Pool.
Probably safe to assume.
I'm gonna start rifling through the skeletons' stuff. I assume they had like if they were looking for stuff, they might have found some kind of stuff. I want to go through their stuff.
I want to take
Stuff.
a general look around this room and just see like what they might have been looking for in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'm going to be ritually detecting magic to see if I can figure out if there was something like that they were looking for.
All right.
And I mean, if this may be a lesser version of what we're going to face, but this one went down pretty easily. So the bigger one can't be that tough, right?
I feel like if that's the thing that's actually guarding the codex, then I don't think we should err on the side of underestimating it.
Also, make an investigation check to investigate the the piles of bones. Donald, you can make an investigation check or perception check, your choice, around the entire area. Artanis, you finish ritually casting detect magic. You do not detect any magic in this space outside of what you would expect on your compatriots.
Whatever they were looking for, if it's here, it wasn't magical.
Also, you find really nothing of use whatsoever on any of these skeleton bodies. They're rusted short swords, rotted, half destroyed short bows, shitty arrows, and scraps of rotted armor. Donald, looking around, there's nothing outside the ordinary here. You find a bunch of mundane shit. Lots of broken mining tools, turned over and half destroyed mining carts, piles of rock that have been broken off the walls. Couple of shattered barrels and crates. Nothing of interest or value.
Weird. Very weird. Or maybe not that weird.
So this was a holding pattern, I guess. Go over there, look for some shit. They don't find shit, and then when they actually need them to do something, they could just come here and go, "Hey, go do this thing, do that thing, do the other thing."
Maybe not necessarily a holding pattern. Maybe they're looking for something, but they don't know where it is. And they're just trying everywhere.
Maybe.
Which could be useful if it is the Watcher who's controlling these using the Codex. Either that, or he's looking for something that we just do not comprehend why he'd be looking for. Maybe he's a hoarder and likes interestingly shaped pieces of rock.
I mean, I could find like some interesting shit, but I need to know what I'm looking for to find it.
Well, exactly. Undead don't talk, though, really, so can't exactly interrogate them.
Yeah.
Just a thought to keep in mind.
Well, if we don't know what we're looking for, should we just move on?
Yeah, we don't know what we're looking for. We haven't found anything obviously interesting in here.
They
Unless
need a
somebody
rest
has any-
first.
I wouldn't mind a short rest. If anybody else.
Everybody make a perception check for me.
That's not good.
Jesus. Oof.
My rolls have been dog shit tonight, guys.
Perfect. Mel, when the floating head thing was sundered by your smite and crossbow bolt and everything, you watched that very specific glow go out of the eyes of all the remaining undead. They didn't deactivate and fall to the ground. They continued to fight you all, but
So whatever the fuck that thing was, it was probably controlling the rest.
But it was undead too. Maybe it's...
It was the intelligent one.
Yeah. It was the intelligent one, and it's been gifted the ability to... or has some ability to command the others.
Vistra says, seemed to me like it was acting like a field officer.
That makes sense.
So if an undead version of that beholder has the capacity to be a field officer, then an alive one would have likely much more capacity.
Indeed.
I prefer my enemies to be stupid, says Vistra.
It
Isn't-
does make things easier.
Wouldn't that be the life?
One of the prayers I offer up to Hephaestus is to addle the minds of my enemies.
Well, if it's acting as a field officer, then the commander is still to be seen.
I mean, and what does a field officer act like? It acts like a local amplifier of the higher chain of command's orders.
This probably means it also knows that we're coming now.
If it didn't already. We can only hope they're not exactly hive mind.
Wouldn't that be lucky?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be lucky, eh, Mel?
Really?
Eh? You think you could make that happen for us?
Did
Yeah.
Dummel just make a joke? Is this the first joke that Dummel has uttered out of his miserable mouth?
If you keep saying things like that, I'll never make another one.
Oh,
And that's a promise.
I thought it was just you were growing on us.
And the other way around.
No, never mind.
Growing on me like mushrooms.
Yeah, that was the joke.
Good joke. Much better than the ones all the little monsters that follow me tell.
Vistra's pretty fucked up, right?
Yeah, she's. If you guys are taking a short rest,
That's why I
she's
said
gonna
rest, yes.
She's gonna use a few hit dice.
Do it.
Well, if she's using hit dice, I won't spend healing on her.
I'll kind of sit down in front of her, and in Dwarven, I say very specifically, "Are you sure? I know the Codex seems like a good thing, but to really want those things leading the charge, do you not kind of get skeeved out by that?"
Be frank and honest. If we can use those to save the lives of actual living dwarves, I have zero problem with it.
All right. Just wanted to get the permission from a holy person to do it.
I mean, they're nothing but a shell of reanimated flesh and bone. It's I like for every one of those we can throw at the enemy, that's one less dwarf we have to throw at the enemy.
I agree with you. It just seems like kind of disrespectful to the ones that came before, you know?
In what way? Their soul has moved on to either Elysium or Tartarus. It's just an empty vessel. Be no different than if you were to. It's like mourning a marionette. Us followers of Festus are very practical people.
No, I just wanted to hear your opinion on it. Thank you.
I mean, ask your friend. There's no soul left in that. And she like gestures to Mel.
I try not to bring that up.
I didn't realize it was that sensitive a subject. She seems to talk about it openly.
I try not to bring up a lot of things to keep this going.
I am sorry about your brother. He seemed like he cared about you quite a bit.
Yeah. It's gonna really suck to tell Mom, but she knew it was coming, so. Wish she would have told me.
Not a sacrifice many people would make.
No. That's why the phrase, the good die young, exists, though. It's people like him. Like all your friends. Like you. I mean, I don't wish any evil on you, but we both know what you're doing down here.
Oh, I have no illusions. Thanks for this. It worked well, by the way. She like gestures to the battle axe.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Try not to lose it. Darn, made that one.
You have my word. I'll return it to you as soon as we are out of danger.
Oh, if you need anything else, I got like a ton of shit in here. Apparently, I have a halberd that I can't use.
You can use it, you just need to use 2 hands. The heavy weapon. But it does have reach.
That's it.
Alright. Anybody else having anything they're doing during this short rest? Alright. You guys pick up the march. And after an additional several hours of marching.
Oh, sorry, Bill. I meant
Oh,
to
yes?
ping for mushrooms at the end of the short rest.
At the end of the short rest,
Yes.
you don't pick up anything.
Okay, sorry.
No worries. After several hours of hours and hours of marching, probably an additional 8 to 10 hours of marching, you eventually find yourselves at a 4-way intersection here. Not only continuing on in the direction that you were going, but it appears that there is a vertical shaft with some with ladders carved into the wall that goes directly up. That turns into the cross pattern.
Any more scratchy sand art on the wall?
No. Would you guys like to continue on the direction you were going, or explore upward?
I feel like upward takes us towards the Mind Flayer City. but
I mean, that could just be upwards cattle country. We could run into like mind flayer cows and chickens. It could be good for us. Little farm
I'm
vacation.
pretty sure mind flayers use people instead of cows and chickens.
So straight on.
Straight on.
Straight on.
Before we think too much about that,
All right. Vistra says, "Oh, so you guys don't have to push every button." You guys,
it's just Artanis.
you guys continue on for another several hours until you get toward. You start to really feel the exertions of the day get onto you as you make this sort of left-handed turn and come down to a similar intersection. However, the ladders carved into the wall go down a level as there is a smaller, narrower bridge that leads across.
Any Sanskrit?
As like before with the make a
Research
perception
the-
check.
Yeah. $15.
15. You don't see any script. However, you do pick up something auditory as you kind of listen where the openings to go down are by the ladders carved into the wall. You can hear the familiar sound of undead, as you are intimately familiar with it now, in dozens of feet down. Apparently unaware of your presence at the moment, but dozens and dozens of shuffling feet and moans.
I'll do the finger over the lips, and then I'll do Thriller, so everybody knows the undead are nearby.
And I'll do Thriller.
He's like, what the fuck?
I feel like as a cross-cultural reference, that does not translate.
Vistra like
Joel just looks extremely confused.
Vistra looks at you like total thumbs up, absolutely gets it.
Yeah. Michael Stout Ale. Yeah, let's not go that way. Let's proceed? Question mark.
It's up to you guys.
Let's go.
How long has it been?
It's
Are we at
Oh, wait.
sorry.
Well, keep asking your questions. I need to check something first.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm guessing, are we getting towards the end of a day of marching? Should we?
You're there and a little bit past that probably. I don't know that you want to stop here.
Should we continue or go back and rest?
How big is the hole with the ladder downwards, Bill?
It's big enough to fit a person, single file.
Would you say it's 5 by 5 or smaller?
Yes.
Cool. Well, I got 2 4th level slots, so we want to stone shape it closed.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
quiet, right?
I think so. How quiet is stone shape, Bill?
Relatively.
I mean, even if they do notice that it's going to put 5 feet of stone between us and them, which I feel like is a win for us.
I'm curious as to what's down there.
No, you're not going into the darkness with dozens of undead. Even if we could kill a bunch of them pretty easily, it's probably just going to alert whatever's controlling them all that we're getting closer.
Maybe we should mark this spot if we're able to stop the source and they collapse. Maybe it's worth coming back to see what's down there.
You know what? Sure. If you want to mark this spot, mark this spot. I am going to close that hole and put 5 feet of stone between any undead that are down there and us. And I will do just that.
Alright.
And Stone Shape closed the entrance.
Yeah, you seal them up, filling them up with 5-foot thick stone, kind of like liquefying, reforming, and then solidifying again the stone around it to fit the shape. As the moans are pretty muffled now, almost inaudible.
If they're audible through 5 feet of stone, I want to keep moving.
Hmm.
Don't
Almost.
like that.
Almost inaudible, which kind of gives you a little bit more of a hint as to how many there are down there.
Well, I'm extremely glad we closed that.
Mhm.
Like you're thinking like Walking Dead traveling herd level undead.
Oh, like they are billions sort of level.
Not quite billions, but at first you were thinking maybe dozens. Now with this, you're thinking probably closer to hundreds of undead down there.
Okay, well, mark it if you must, but if we can still hear them after we put 5 feet of stone between there, there's a lot more of them than a couple dozen. So we should move.
I'll carve a little X into that spot with my arcane blade.
All right, you do so. You guys continue on for just like another 45 minutes or so, getting past the room. As you're still in tunnel, though, you're all starting to get pretty exhausted to the point where you think if you don't stop, you might start mechanically taking points of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
But you've made quite a bit of progress,
Yep.
if the map is to be believed.
You can only hope. Man,
You guys
let's take
wanna-
a breather.
Press on, or
No.
No, let's sleep. Or
Okay.
rest at least.
You got any ability to send a message, Artanis?
Yeah.
So you do that, and then let's set up that dome.
you do?
Short rest gave me a 3rd level.
Ah, arcane recovery.
Yep. Yeah. Sending to one of the senators.
Which one?
Jurgen.
Okay, Jurgen Fireforge.
Yep.
All right.
And I will say there's a force of extraplanar creatures here, highly intelligent, attack mines and control other creatures, resistant to magic. Looks like just a vanguard for large invasion. We continue.
You get a message back that says, a response that says, disconcerting. I'll inform military leaders. They can use the intelligence. Don't want to rush you, but stalling is getting harder. The other side pushing for a vote. Tordred acting strange.
No shit.
I can't respond, so that is what it is. I will pass that information along, and I'll ask Vistra what she thinks Jurgen might have meant by Tordred as acting strange.
I have no idea, she says. You think that based on the map, Donald, you normally at a steady march pace you can get 32 miles in a day.
So about a day.
At a normal pace.
Okay. Well,
But she says I don't know. That's not really a lot to go on. Somebody's acting strange. I would need more context. I'm sorry.
All I can do is try to get more context before our next rest. I've got no more ability to communicate with her today.
Oh, at
Do
least got
any of
someone to
you have any divinatory capabilities?
not today, I don't.
Maybe that's a way to get more answers.
I can try that in the morning.
I'm not really like I have the gifts that Hephaestus has blessed me with, but that other stuff, that's your too. And she kind of gestures to Artanis and Donald. That's your area of expertise.
Let's focus on resting for now.
Yeah. Get some sleep.
Right. Because I would like to move things along a little bit here. You guys get a long rest in without issue.
Yay.
I jump forward. We're gonna do a little bit of So you guys get your long rest in, unless there's any burning conversations you need to have over the course of the night or sleep. You all come to consciousness after your various trancing and rests in the morning.
Huzzah.
All right. Well.
Oh, just real quick, I reloaded my Athena stone with Featherfall and Misty Step before I rested.
Okay. A Featherfall and a Misty Step.
All right. I'll cast divination and ask.
Mark off the material components.
Yep. And I will ask. What is causing Tordred to act irregularly or to act weird as perceived by her fellow senators?
I'm sorry, I'm just going to read the spell again real quick because it's been a minute.
Yeah, that's true. Specific goal, event, or activity.
An omen. So state your question again, however you would like to state it.
What is causing Tordred to act irregularly or to act weird as perceived by her fellow senators?
Senators, or specifically Jurgen, the one who sent you?
Senator, I guess.
Okay. You get a little sort of like poetry rhyme thing back that says, um, foreign influence, clad in black mail.
Hmm. I will relay that to everybody else.
Oh, it goes on to say, uh, uh, um, trying to think
You
how I
don't
want to
have
word
to
it.
make it
No, no,
rhyme.
no. I just want to. No, I know what I want to say. I just thinking about how I want to word it because it's, it's not going to be in prose or whatever. But it goes on. The other fairy like picks up the second verse kind of thing and says that digging up old dishonors. Um, the past steers the future.
Huh. Don't like the sound of that.
Hmm.
I will relay that to everybody else. Does that mean anything to you, Vistra, or you, Ossel?
Maybe Dad did something.
Perhaps she tried to cover something up, and they're using that to influence her.
I figured. I'm just hoping that you might have some insight as to what that might be.
I'm sorry, I'm not. I've spent the majority of my life in the halls.
Fair. Well, you have a better
Does
chance of knowing than I do.
who wears blackmail?
Or just the word blackmail.
Yeah, just the word blackmail.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
don't.
kind of.
Oh,
I don't think we know anybody
That's-
who's. I don't think we
but
know anybody who wears black armor.
Foreign influence clad in black mail.
As I look at Hortensia, it's fucking them, isn't it? It's fucking Hortensia. God fucking damn it. We need to kill them.
You're the only one who's really seen them.
It could also have been a poetic play on words,
Yeah.
but essentially you get the interpretation. The interpretation that you're getting is that they're saying that foreign influence is obviously referring to Calcarian, the Calcarians.
Yeah.
Clad in blackmail, you think, is a clever way of saying they're trying to blackmail her. And then the second half with some sort of dishonor that they've been able to uncover or dig up proof of, and are kind of holding it over her head to try and,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
force a vote earlier or like before you guys return or something.
with that, I think I'll go ahead and burn ascending to.
With what spell
Uh,
slot?
we just
Oh,
finished a rest.
you just woke up.
Yeah.
That's right. You just woke up. Sorry, I'm forgetting. Sorry. Burn ascending. Sorry, you were saying.
Send to Jurgen. Sorry, limited communication ability.
What?
Divination
What?
indicates.
Firestorm, hey! Thank you so much for the raid.
Um,
How's your stream? Welcome, friends.
Torgrid
We're just
being
getting down towards
blackmailed
the end of our D&D.
via old dishonor by Calcaria. Find
Probably.
blackmailer
That's
or
probably I think you're probably at 25 words there. I don't know exactly, but I think you're probably pretty close there. Especially with the
Thanks for
sorry
saying,
little sentence at the beginning. But you do get a response back that
Depth of
says,
overlays. Actually make
if you
things for
can
that.
message me again in 24 hours, see what I can find out.
All right.
Well, at least we're getting some intel out there. GTA 5, nice.
Well, let's hope the next ending has just nothing but
Hell
good
yeah.
news.
Thought it was a good time. Go get some rest food, get whatever you need. We're just gonna continue
sure
through
would be
the Mines of
lucky.
Moria. Not really
No?
though.
Vistra says, like, I get that what we're doing here is not really easy or whatever, and the last thing I want to do is put a time limit on it, but if they are able to call a vote before we get back, and Senator Tordred is compromised, it might not matter what we do down here by the time we get back.
What do you mean?
I mean, if the
They finished it. They can't
Calcarians-
exactly pile back on it and like turn around.
Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying that if the
No.
Calcarians,
I'm saying that they can't turn back a vote. Most probably.
yeah, if the Calcarians are successful in forcing a vote before we get back, and they agree to the to some sort of trade and treaty agreement with the Calcarians, our returning with the Codex is not going to be able to change that.
And then they will give the codex to the Empire. And you still don't have your holes.
For them to
Well-
give the codex to the Empire, they'd have to take it from us. But we need something to persuade Tordred from down here to. Okay. We need something to persuade Tordred from down here to not give in to blackmail from the Empire.
But why would they suddenly want to force a vote, says Vistra. They seemed content to wait till somebody returned with the codex.
Because they know
Agrippa
it's not their
probably-
people anymore, probably.
Agrippa probably knows Porcia's dead.
But how?
Because he checks in on her.
Hmm.
That'll do it.
And if he tried checking in with her recently and she didn't respond, he'll know and he's going to plan B.
Hedging his bets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Vistra, there's no way that you could pull something like stop the elevator.
What?
These
You
are
mean
your
stop
people.
the
If we
stop
could,
the elevator?
yeah, if we disable them from coming down there, they can't come down here, which means even if they do vote, they can't move. That's something. It slows them down at least. Do you think you had?
Wait,
What?
what? I'm confused.
I'm just planning for worst case scenario. If they do vote, nothing's agreed upon until they have to come down here and get it, right? Still?
No, I believe what they're saying is that they're trying to force a vote regardless of the codex. The offer that the Calcarians have made, even without the codex, is a lucrative and hard to resist offer. I mean, they're essentially trading to us something they have in abundance for something we have in abundance. It's good for both sides.
You know what the blackmail is, right?
Hmm.
Do I know what blackmail is? Of course I know what blackmail.
No, I spoke to everyone. Do you know what the blackmail is, right?
What is it?
It's you, Dommel. She is aware that you're who you are. That's what the Empire knows, that what she knows, and what we're keeping from 2 other senators. That's what the blackmail is.
Doubtful.
It seemed to be something in the past, according to that rhyme or whatever it was.
Yeah. According to whatever I got from. Well, maybe I shouldn't trust him too. Anyhow, something from the older past. We need. What's a good way in dwarven culture to wipe out dishonor?
You don't. You get the iron verdict. That's it.
Well, I mean, also you would know. I mean, it depends on what it is, obviously. But
Later.
I mean, the worst possible offenses are the, you know, what some of your people refer to as the iron verdict or clanlessness. Um, uh, some people are compelled to join the victorious dead. Um, Others are able to, for lesser offenses, are able to make contributions, monetary or other valuable contributions to uh, the either raiding or victorious dead war effort, conflict efforts. But there are certain things that are just like, there's no coming back. Make a just a history check.
Can
Do I
I
get
give a guidance?
Do I get advantage for dwarf?
Not for this one, no. But you can guidance. You can get a guidance, yeah. I'll allow it because you're actively trying to remember something.
I rolled max on everything, so it's a total of 24. So nat 20.
Wait, you rolled a nat 20?
I rolled a nat 20 plus 4 on the guidance, so total of 24 because I have 0 fucking boosters.
All right. You don't super pay. Well, I mean, I guess it's up to you. How close does also pay attention, especially well, at least when she's not out raiding, to the internal politics of the Dwarven Senate?
Dwarven politics a ton. Every other
Dwarven
cult
politics. Yeah.
doesn't
Okay.
give a fuck about.
Um, some of the more important people in the Brood Iron clan that are slightly below Tordrid in sort of position and authority, people who may be being thought of or groomed as maybe future senators. There's a fair number of them that have been, as of recently, voicing sympathies towards um, making this alliance with the Kalkarians. So if the right moves were played and Horgid was removed, there's a better than 50, there's at least a 50-50 chance that a Kalkarian sympathizing Brood Iron clan member could be raised to that position, should whatever this information be bad enough that Tordrid was removed from her position.
I relay that to the group. That's probably also why she paid so much attention to Thorin. Having a golden
Right.
boy on her side would really strengthen that bond.
Well, okay. So, what do we need to know? We need to know what she's done that's so bad. We need to know. We basically need to know what she's done that is so bad at this point. Because if it's Oh, you're going to hate this idea.
What?
Osel specifically. Thorin is gone. No one except for us knows what exactly happened to him. Thorin is also notably, by being part of Aspida, is notably and against the Empire, and is at least a little bit associated with Tordred, just by what we did in in Gimdorul and the rest before we came down here. This is something we're gonna have to do once we get back. Is tie Thorin sacrificing himself to close the portal, is specifically to close the portal at the Watcher's Pool and to obtain the Codex for the good of dwarven kind, etc., etc. Because we can't just prop up the Brood Irons in general against Calcaria. We have to specifically support Tordred, or we have to roll the dice that her successor is sympathetic to our cause and against the Empire. And of those two, I think we support Tordred first.
We've already been in a situation where zones of truth have been cast. I don't know that we want to hang something so sensitive on something that could be undone by a zone of truth.
Got a point.
It's an idea.
How Osel is just like visually streaming tears down her face. Like, how the fuck could you guys even entertain this ludicrous idea? How dare you?
Just throwing out options. If you got another one, please, Osel.
Told you you'd hate it. We don't have a lot. We don't exactly have a lot to work with down here.
Yeah, neither do I.
Vistra says, look, trying to kind of calm the situation, the best thing we can do, perhaps, is finish our task as quickly as possible and return as quickly as possible.
If they're looking to force a vote, though, we've got another day to get there, another week-ish to get back at best.
I'm sure that this isn't really going to land with most of you, but it seems to me we need to rely on our allies in the Senate, Senator Brutor and Senator Jurgen, to delay this as long as they can.
We'll find out tomorrow what Jurgen was able to discover. No point in grasping at straws at the moment.
Sure.
Let's just keep going.
Let's.
I think we can pick things up there next week.
Alrighty.
Cool.
You guys are really close.
Extremely close.
Really close. New revelations from back in the capital.
God damn it. We'll see how that goes.
Bum bum bum.
Well, it'll only take us several weeks to get back.
Yeah.
Several weeks. It didn't take you several weeks to get this far.
Did it not?
No. I don't even
Well,
think it's been
several weeks out of character.
well, out of character. In game, I think you've only been down here not even a week. Right?
Huh.
Huh.
Yeah, it's literally been a week.
Damn.
Like
we entered January 20th. It is currently January 27th.
Yeah, so you've been down here for exactly 1 week.
Huh. Okay then.
We've been in here for 10 fucking sessions. It's been 10 sessions since we entered
Damn.
the halls.
Yeah.
That's why it feels like it's been like several weeks.
Yeah. Well, there's
I'm-
times in the campaign
send y'all
where
to
time
my
really
friend
speeds
Ava,
up and
who's doing
times
ATK
where
RP.
it really starts to grind down. So this
Please
is
send her some love. I'll be back
my
tomorrow.
biggest dungeon yet.
You know
Be
that,
back tomorrow
that song
for
that goes, "And the
Misty
days stop
Shore Guild
coming,
Hall.
and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming." It's just that.
Oh yeah.
line repeating.
Well, hey,
So until then,
like
y'all
I
stay
said,
safe,
you
stay
guys
healthy,
are
take care of
less than
yourselves,
a
take care of
day's
each other.
march from the Watcher's
Bye-bye,
Pool, so
everybody.
technically next session you could make it there.
I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be. In whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice order. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice order. And my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes